All right. Ladies and gents, welcome to a decider here. And I know what you're wondering. Is this going to hit YouTube? It will. And we have a pause. Perfect. YouTube, you get to hear my intro. The winner here moves on to play in the LAN event that'll be in mid-March in Hamburg, Germany. It's called the Garrison. It's hosted by a new org entering the scene, Being Esports, who's done other events for different games. And I will be there. There's tickets for sale right now. You can use the Garrison command in my chat. And we could also have the link in the description for later on YouTube. But basically, winner of this series qualifies and will be there. We have MbL, Mr. Chaos himself in the blue playing as the Magyars. And then we have Yo down here in the red playing as the Saracens. So more of a counter pick play for Yo. And Magyar is more of your traditional offensive pick with the cheap scouts trying to play in towards heavy scout numbers on a relatively open map. Now, I need to point something out that's very important when casting Land Madness, okay? So, this terrain here, you cannot build on. It's supposed to make the map open and unwallable. However, players always find a way to wall up. And this version is kind of like the original version of Land Madness, and you can wall to the edge of the map. Which means, if you have more of a defensive pick like Saracens, look at Yo's position. He could wall from the edge of the map, around towards this house, from this house over here, and then to the edge. And Yo is amazing at building up his base. He's probably one of the best players in the world at that. So I would expect that Yo is already thinking about this. But my point is that this version of Land Madness does not necessarily play out to be fully open. So newer versions have made it so the unbuildable terrain is also on the end, basically because of the result of a lot of walling. So I think that favors Yo a little bit in this matchup. MbL, all about how much damage he gets in Feudal Age and Castle Age. I think the longer this game goes, the better it can get for Saracens with their camels. The flexibility to market is really valuable as well, so see how it goes. Yo, Bender, what's up, man? Bender says, hit 1800 on New Year's Eve. Now time to enjoy some New Year's AoE too. Nice. Bender, did you know that there was like a classic pro in Age of Empires 2 in the mid-2000s? Like maybe top 10 of his era named Bender? I think it was Bender. I think it was a German player named Bender. I wasn't as active in that era, but I've done a lot of like research and watched a lot of games. Yeah, Gemjack's in chat, so Gemjack knows. Gemjack, even good today, and Gemjack was around back then. Yeah, so El Clan Bender, exactly. Yep, and he was a German player. There were a couple Germans that were really good back in the day. He says, no, I only started playing the game December of 2023. Okay. You could have completely owned it right there and just said, yeah, that's me, bro. I'm playing with one hand now, you know? Well, it's a pretty good name to have, so. I'm not talking about Nicholas Bentner. I'm not talking about football. I'm talking about Age of Empires. Would you rather click or would you rather kick? They're two very different things. Triple O, thanks for the 26 months. Type, thanks for the 55. Dude, every month, you know the drill. I suck with your name here. Let's try this again. HCERIKNL. Why is this a problem for me now? It's been almost 2 years. Kernicle, thank you. I don't know if the NL is at the end of your name is for Netherlands or what, but I apologize. Wow, look at this opening from Yo. So Yo delays going to gold, but he opens with the range, goes to gold now, and now he's dropping the market. Saracens with their cheap market and also the enhanced market rates. And this might look like an offensive choice because archers can be offensive, but it takes some time to get going. MbL does see this, though. So he might want to drop that range rather early. It's going to be kind of tough with MbL's eco to justify a range right away. He really needs more farms first. But Yo is going to make this extremely difficult for MbL to do damage. Already walled in the wood line. Gold is the only thing that's exposed for now, and he's got Spearmen being created already. Yeah, MbL might not have seen the market, but you just know the Saracens are going to build that. That doesn't, like, building the market at this time isn't actually that revolutionary when it's just 75 wood, so it's not information MbL needs right now. He probably just assumes that will happen. But I think seeing the opening, seeing the archer range opening is important, and now Yo's advancing forward, so those 2 spears and 2 archers could be a problem. I like what MbL is doing, though. We'll see if he does it again. But if he moves over to the side again, he could just delay Yo a little bit longer. But he's happy to take this fight now. He's got skirms ready. And so far, it's been a slow opening from Yo. His opponent already has some type of counter available. So it's really not an opening to get too excited about it. And this is a situation that I'll fall into. Anytime I open archers against a scout player, it's like, this is what happens. The opponent has better eco than me because they have horse collar already. And then the skirms with no upgrades are enough to defend. But I think for Yo, those 2 archers, those 2 spearmen, that was meant to give him time. And with that time, he can buy and sell things from the market. He could maybe build up towards a stable. If it's a combination of scouts and archers, or a combination of camel and archers in this game, in Castle Age, it could be really strong. But yeah, chat, again, tell me your predictions here. I saw a lot of Yo predictions from chat, but I didn't get to see every single one. Yo didn't lose this army, by the way. I think it's a pretty big deal. I think MbL could have gotten a couple kills there. I'm going to go with Yo as well. I think a 4-2, well, now Gold Rafa said it. I think 4-2 for Yo seems pretty realistic. The storyline with MbL is he's just playing different than the others. And that can be a great thing. That can also be leave you with some question marks on his approach after the fact. Yo is generally a little bit more consistent as well, but this should be a really entertaining series here. I think MbL is going to... Yo is just kind of the same regardless of how things are going. But I think MbL tends to be a big confidence player. So I think how this first game goes, how the second game goes is important. This scout has picked off a skirmisher. MbL's got so much army out here. That's really sloppy from MbL to lose 2 skirmishers, if you ask me. And magic of the Saracens. Look at this from Yo. So he didn't lose any of his forward army. He only lost his scout. He just comes home, and now he's on the way to Castle Age. Only the Saracens can do this. And it's a different approach than what I expected. He did play defensive, but he didn't play into the full walls here. And now he drops the stable. And MbL is still massing Feudal Age army here. MbL needs to get some kills here. But he's not really sure on where to go. Now his scouts are separated from his skirms. This could be horrible for MbL. Yo with the quick gate there. Could have been worse for MbL, honestly. He does end up losing 1 scout. Yo just sneakily coming over here to this gold to take another gold. If MbL would know about that or expect that, he'd go out there. But why are you expecting your opponent to be out there when he's walled? You would just expect that he's going to be on gold here. So MbL is just making more and more skirms. But what if Mr. Yo just makes knights here? Camels do have the extra HP, so that's probably the play, but it feels like a couple knights in combination with these archers could even be really strong. Yo is so patient. Like, he always knows where he needs to be. The Saracens are the perfect civ for him because you can be a bit greedy every now and then and get the boom going. Yo, Denson, what's up? He says, I think Yo will be better prepared, and Yo is arguably better late game. MbL is only better in early, mid-Castle Age, I think. I think MbL is the better super late game player. I actually would tweak my thinking there a little bit, Denson, but I think they're really close. So it's hard to say for certain who is better where. Now, this is amazing from Yo. Quick walls in his villagers, saves most of his archers. Now he's in Castle Age. And he does have a camel and then a knight on the way. So he still hasn't lost much. And MbL is pretty deep in feudal age. And MbL will just have to leave here. What would not be good for Yo is to toss away the archers. Like, those archers should be in the TC. That's a little bit sloppy, if you ask me. Maybe still getting warmed up here, but... Like I said, these camels are just so strong, man. This is the unit you want with the Saracens. 125 HP on the camel without bloodlines. I still can't get over the fact that the devs did that, by the way. I'll maintain I don't think Saracens needed a buff. I get they wanted to get rid of the zealotry tech. So they wanted to just give them the extra HP or something, but essentially 150 HP camels in Castle Age is nuts, if you ask me. And Yo, not going to upgrade the archers in the end. Well, actually, he did get Bodkin. So Yo is definitely planning on relying on archers, but I wonder if now, and he answers my question, now he's going to go cav archers. MbL did a good job stalling this. Like, I thought this army would inevitably push out across the map from Yo. But spears now being added from MbL. You could tell Yo's distracted by the scouts over here. And by the time Yo looks back, he's not going to have much of a knight army to work with. And MbL will have 3 ranges. He's Magyars, so it's faster producing cav archers. And Yo will have cav archers out first. Yo will even have the second TC a bit faster, which is, of course, great. But MbL's eco is really efficient now. He hasn't lost any villagers yet. I think the gold is a worry. But if he gets cav archers to that hill, I think he'll end up being okay. And Yo really is not advanced forward much so far. I think MbL will be able to drop TCs as well. Not easily on the wood line, but should be able to drop some town centers soon to protect some of his base. I think Yo's initial plan was to go crossbow. He had like 10 archers, but he lost 5 of those archers before I saw Bodkin arrow come in. And okay, this is where a lot of people would panic. MbL should know that the pressure is going to be coming because he's not disrupting Yo anymore. Yo is on the move this way, so Yo didn't go to the obvious direction. And he arrives to the wood line. The spears are there, but there's no other army there for MbL to be found. He's going to toss away his spears just to hope he can delay here. But Yo picks off a Vil. Yo will pick off another Vil and another Vil. I'm surprised MbL didn't back away here. The TC might still go up, but could have maybe saved a couple of those Vils. And now it's a micro battle. Both players have the same upgrades on their CA. In the end, it's not too terribly bad for MbL. It's still a cav archer war. He's on 3 ranges. It's 2 TCs for both. And, oh, he counterattacks. And again, he kind of runs in a little too close there. Nice job from Yo. Yo's quick walling has been really nice here. Who is the best micro between these two? It's a good question. I don't think either player is really known for their normal unit micro. MbL typically just makes more units than the opponent, as weird as that sounds. So he makes it messy. We'll usually make a mix. Yo is about the value he gets from little units, so he could be a bit greedy. I don't know if I would say one player's micro is better than the other here. If it's a MbL war, though, I would say that's where you have to prefer MbL. I think he's the best in the world at it. And cav archer control is such a crucial thing right now. And how you use to prioritize your spending now is tough. Like, they're heavy on wood and gold, but they also have enough food income to maybe justify that 3rd TC. But neither player wants to do that. Yo drops the university for ballistics. MbL is going to do the same. MbL definitely senses that cav archer army is going somewhere. You can tell he's paranoid that it was going to run through there. And unfortunately for MbL, it arrives on the other side and picks off a Vil. Yeah, Saracens have great, well, kind of everything. They have almost fully upgraded or maybe fully upgraded cav archers. They have amazing arbalest. They have great siege. Their stable's insane because of the camels and the hussars. They even get fully upgraded knights. Obviously, they don't get cavalier. But you could still make cav archers with them. and make knights with them. No problem. Their siege is way better than the Magyars as well. So yeah, Saracen's better as the game goes on in terms of options. They would lack Halb, but not really an issue if you have the good camels. Man, if MbL were to chase this army down, it would probably end up killing it in like 15 seconds. Yo has ballistics and MbL does not. And not the first time MbL's tried to get some counter damage in, and then Yo is already at his base, and ballistics is in, and MbL's out of position. And it's another good raid from Yo. Almost feels like the result of being faster to Castle Age, right? Early Castle Age, he got the value. And ever since, MbL's been trying to recover here. Not only expensive losses on the villagers, but it's also a lot of idle time for MbL right now. Idle time is skyrocketing. And it's still, like, where are the Cav Archers from MbL? He's still going forward. So he still doesn't have defense for his own base. And he has to defend now. And he has to get counter damage in. He actually doesn't kill any vills there. Looks like he lost one more, but he will be okay. He's got really good Cav Archer count. And Yo is a little concerned here. Yo's going for Elite Skirm now. And MbL and Yo both with full armor. The full armor will be really helpful on the skirms. But as good as this looks for Yo, especially because MbL's micro is not the best there, I do just feel as though Yo could have a control problem here. And you shift into skirm against MbL. MbL will be glad to mix in some siege. Man, hold on. Look at MbL's food eco for a second, guys. 0 on food. He only has 3 farms that have actually been seeded. He doesn't have any villagers on it. He's added a couple more farms. He's going up to like 6 ranges here. So this seems like an all-in play. Again, he's moving forward, trying to find some damage. MbL's only killed 1 villager this game. He's just struggled to keep track of Yo and to hit the right spots. Like, counterattacking is not a bad thing. But he's never in the right positions. And here again, Yo shows up. It's like Yo goes directly to the wood line. Yo knows where to hit. MbL is here. MbL finds the golds. So he'll pick off a few more vills. But Yo did complete this TC on the left side. MbL will mix in some scorpions at home. His Cav Archers will come to the hill. And Yo has killed 20 villagers in this game. Yo has almost a 30 villager lead. But he will struggle with army here. And MbL could just run away. Like, MbL has struggled a little bit because of Yo's mobility. But if Yo doesn't have mobility anymore, it becomes a lot easier for MbL to make decisions. Anytime the skirm numbers become a problem, he can simply just back away. Man, am I crazy, or has MbL just struggled to track army this game? Like, uncharacteristically. This is crazy. Again, another instance where he had the army. He was on top of the army. And then the army gets pretty far away from him. Yo is going to be happy with this trade. MbL's trying to save what villagers he can. But this has been rough for MbL's economy. So Yo does trade his whole army away to get those villager kills. But it's 82 vills for Yo, 38 for MbL. And the funny thing is, MbL still actually has a chance unless Yo gets to a castle. I think if Yo builds a defensive castle to stop the TCs from being Mangonel pushed, I think then this becomes a very difficult situation for MbL. Again, I just don't know if MbL's awake just yet. And I'm not trying to say that to be disrespectful. That's a real thing. Like, you gotta be warmed up. Sometimes it takes a game or two, even for the best of players. It just takes a little bit longer than you would expect for the army to move into position for MbL. Very surprised that Yo hasn't dropped his castle yet. Because, I mean, he knows he has the Vill lead. But this could actually become a pretty big concern. Here he's still trying to counterattack. This is MbL we're talking about. A siege push through the middle with 30 Cav Archers to back it up could be tough for Yo. MbL's Scorpions roll into the town center fire. So he'll lose that. But I think Mangonels are the key because you can actually push down the TCs. MbL will defend over here. MbL does not have husbandry, so he's 1.4 speed. That's also maybe part of it. Yo's had husbandry this entire time, so he's like 0.14 speed faster or whatever. And Yo's going to actually get +2 armor now. I guess just invest into knights to take out this siege, but that's a lot of cav archers. Yo will try and pull MbL out of position with counterattacks, though. MbL will have to defend his eco. It's so exposed. And look at Yo. He goes just passing over here. Just passing over here. All opening up opportunities for him to maybe run in and kill this siege. This castle's an interesting one. I mean, there's a lot of golden stone around it. This is also a direction MbL might run through that choke point. So I really like the castle, actually. And Yo's having his own problems with his economy. MbL will track this and kill this. There's another cav archer army over here now. MbL's still keeping enough cav archers next to the siege. Like, he knows if this push dies, he's dead. I don't even think the score makes it clear how big the eco difference is, though. 60 eco lead for Yo. But I think he'll give up this TC. This castle will protect another gold. We might even see some Mamelukes from Yo. And MbL's pushing. 2 on food. But MbL's still making progress here. The heavy on wood, heavy on gold approach and non-stop production is doing a lot. And Yo's had a great game. But again, there was a moment where maybe this castle could have been in front of his TC. But once that moment passed, it's become a bit of an issue for him. Yo will win this engagement. MbL has some weak CA there. And now Yo hops out with the knights. +2 armor is in. He'll take 2 of the mangonels. I don't think he'll take 3. And Yo's got nothing on food now. So Yo might just be selling and buying for resources. But it is a pretty expensive loss for MbL. When MbL's at 38 vils, it's not like he's going to add those mangonels anytime soon. MbL even dropping a tower here. I think this is the game state that MbL wanted in this game. Like, well, obviously not losing the villagers. My point is, he wanted to get to this before he was behind by 70 vils. Feel like a cav archer mangonel war is perfect for him. MbL microing here, defending what's left of that wood line. He did also find this gold. But Yo could just add 1 Mameluke there and he'll be back on that gold, no problem. If only MbL had some food eco. He's got 2 on food. This is crazy. But he's still got a chance. I think Yo's been a little greedy at times. It could have easily justified his own siege, I think. But he'll do that now. And maybe in combination with some knights, it could be okay. Again, more cav archers getting to the back. And another instance, I'm pretty sure those were the 3 cav archers that were here. Maybe it was another group. It feels like another instance where Yo's able to find value when you wouldn't expect it. This is wild, dude. Yo's main base is about to be gone. Oh, MbL's leaving. MbL was leaving, so Yo chose to go for the dive. But yeah, like, it's just so funny to see someone up 75 vils and then look so far behind when you look at their base. If we didn't have the stats, it would maybe seem like MbL has a little bit more of a chance. Wow, Mangonel actually gets sniped. Sick play from MbL. But now there's a castle on his TC, a castle on his gold, a gold he very much needs. The Mameluke's there as well. And MbL realizes that he's eventually going to lose this push in the middle. And he taps out. Yo takes the first game. Not the perfect start for MbL. You know, it seems like it was really uncertain on what to do. Again, against the Saracens, you sometimes play it a lot differently than against other civs because they can be so extreme. It could be heavy army or it could be very little army. And Yo opened aggressively with archers and spears, and then just decided to use the market to head to Castle Age. And I think that's the perfect way to play Saracens in this matchup. You don't want to spend a lot of time in the feudal age against the Magyars. You want to get to Castle. And Yo's booming and Cav Archer approach was solid. And the early Castle Age played a bit of a role, right? He killed the Vils on the one town center. Then MbL was chasing. And that was pretty much the theme, in my opinion, was MbL was just chasing Yo the entire game. So in this best of 7, Yo takes the first win. And MbL will be a little disappointed by that, but obviously knows if he's going to qualify for the Garrison, he's going to lose some games here against Yo today. So we got MbL in the blue. Safe to say he needs to respond. And the map is Fractal. And on Fractal, the key is to chop through these trees to get to the outside water. So it's a 9-villager start. Actually is much easier to chop through. It's better for your economy on a map like this on the 9-villager start because it doesn't hurt to send 3 vills right away. But let's see how MbL approaches this. So he should place the lumber camp. Yo has gone 2 vills with Celts. And so I had a conversation with Vinchester, guys, at Noble Apartment Cup about this very map. And he was saying that he was surprised that one of the players he was coaching didn't pick Celts in Titans League Silver. And I asked him why. And he said, because if you get the timing right, you should be able to walk over here and build a palisade wall just before the opponent cuts through. The Celts naturally have the wood chopping bonus. However, MbL targeted that first tree with 3 vills, which is not common. Normally you just use 2. Now you can't use 3 because they're like in the middle of the reeds. And he has double bid axe early because he's Burgundians. So there's only 50 wood on each reed. It seems like MbL is actually going to be through faster. So Yo might think that he could just go through there. I don't know. I think logically, he should maybe understand that against the Burgundians, maybe the timing would work. And then it might become a situation where the players dock block and build their docks to block in the choke. So we'll see. But last time MbL played this map, he was up against the Burgundians and lost. It's just such an MbL thing to lose to something and be like, oh, that's what I have to do next. And, I mean, he saw exactly where things went wrong when he was up against the Burgundians. They have a really good tech tree. It was a tower rush game, though. And, ooh, MbL's vills. We're chopping this reed for a little bit. But that's 40 wood. This one's at 30 wood. There's no way that either player could walk the distance without the other being through. Interesting, though. Yo is actually going for a barracks. And he's going to utilize his back gold. This feels like Man-at-Arm Tower to me. So this map has fixed positions on a lot of things, right? So the golden stone is always in the back. I remember watching MbL play this the other day, and he didn't really utilize the back stone and gold. He utilized the front stones and golds. But he might need the back stone and gold here. MbL's scout, it was pushing in the zebra. But man, this is a crazy strategy from Yo. This is really rare. Typically, you have the dock approach and the fish boom. So we'll see where MbL chooses to dock. Okay, so he will dock block it. Now, you might be like, well, why not place it next to the shorefish? Well, then that gives an avenue for your opponent to build a dock there. So technically, now you can block this off twice or maybe even 3 times. And then MbL's plan is to build another dock here. So both of these docks are going to produce fish, and the forward dock block protects those fish from any fires. Meanwhile, Yo is doing the thing that never happens on Fractal, and he's delaying fish. And here he is. MbL doesn't have loom yet. And MbL is showing no respect to this. Yeah, he needs to leave the berries. But Yo's eco is disaster right now. Like, if he wants Man-at-Arms, he might even lose out on vills. And he will add his fishing ships, but he's also not blocking it, which is super weird. I think if you're going to do this in Yo's position, you have to dock here, so MbL can't make fire galleys. So Yo goes fast feudal. He's up way faster than MbL. Can't justify the Man-at-Arms upgrade. Can't justify the wood upgrade. MbL might just assume, though, because everybody does it, that this is blocked off. He probably will not think about that. And so if that's the case, if Yo can just freely fish here, everything could be fine for him. Also, MbL wants to fish boom. And he needs wood income for that. And you also need wood to add these houses. So I still think it's an okay situation for MbL. But it's not comfortable when your houses are going down this fast. And now there's an archer here as well. So he'll be completely off of berries. Completely away from the front of his base. But he is walled up. Still can take stone. Still can take gold. And needs to fight back for map control. So, an interesting opening here. I've never seen this before, by the way. I've never seen someone go for the barracks, militia, archers, all before adding the fish. Yo will have no easy way to scout MbL, to know MbL's situation on water. He is adding a fire galley. That fire galley will probably just head this way and hit the dock, though. And MbL still just safely fish booming behind this. Resources collected is pretty close right now, but MbL has more fishing eco, and MbL is also getting bow saw, so I think if MbL also kills a villager here, he's going to be feeling really comfortable, and he won't get it. Yo brought a spearman over just in time. So in some ways, you could say this is patient from MbL. Other people might say it's a little bit too greedy, but I like it. I think Fractal has been shown to be a pretty good greed map. There was a game in Titans League Silver, Game 5 between Sorokuma and White. So basically qualifier for gold. Sorokuma was the favorite in that series. And Sorokuma stole Wide's elephant. So elephant, it was 2 elephants versus 0. And Wide did a similar thing to MbL, just full walled, fish boomed. He was up against a tower rush, but he somehow came back later on, so. The fire galley hits the dock. So MbL will have to respect that somewhat and make a fire galley. MbL adding some skirms now to push back this army. And Yo realizing that that's going to be the case, also getting his walls down. So really nice play right now. Did MbL kill that Vil, by the way? No, he killed the scout. Okay. I was wondering where the scout from Yo went. MbL is going to make a demo here. I wonder, it wouldn't make a lot of sense to pop out with just the demo, so I think he'll keep that inside the dock and be a bit patient there. We will see. Yo's walls could be a little better, but this is probably just due to the lack of scouting. So he'll, yeah, replace the walls here. He looks fully walled. Double dock behind this. It's harder for Yo, though, because he has to pay attention to this. If MbL waits till he has a couple ships here and Yo's not thinking about it, MbL can kill this and immediately be in on Yo's fish. I still think it would be wise for Yo to block that off there. And now MbL will drop a tower here. Sick. I like this play. He also has chopped through to the outer ring. Guys, players form opinions on how to play based on experience. And yesterday, MbL was really late to expanding to the outside. I think he will have looked at that, and he will make that adjustment. For those that missed it, MbL was down 2 games versus Daniel. The first 2 games were insane entertainment. Daniel won both of them. And then MbL had to win 3 straight, reverse swept Daniel, and then he played Nikov in a best of 5 and won 3-1 versus Nikov. So MbL had a crazy day yesterday. And look at the patience from MbL. I think Yo is not expecting this. He's certainly not thinking about it. He clicks up to Castle Age. But what's his plan in Castle Age here? Probably Siege, I guess. Yo just queued up a fire galley, so I think he at least is reacting to the flag there. And MbL has 2 well-placed towers. This tower is just going to get shot down. But behind this, MbL already adding the fish traps with Burgundians. And now Yo will drop the dock block. Wow, so almost immediately after MbL hops out, Yo drops the dock. He actually is going to add a galley to sit behind his own dock, which is interesting. Yo will chop through. So he's to the outside. This is more of a town center area. You can't really do anything with that now. And MbL still hasn't clicked up here. But I think MbL's plan here is he wants to get to his unique unit. And Yo and MbL's fish should both be pretty safe here. So once you're in Castle Age, that's where we'll probably see the fishing settle down a little bit. The docks are just your best way at getting a crazy eco when you only have one town center. Another tower here from MbL. Yo has a decision to make on if he wants to counter tower on this one, because this feels like a pretty unimportant position if he can just make siege in 30 seconds. But it does give MbL time. I think it's a little too late to counter tower, though, if Yo was going to do that. Ooh. Is Yo going to sneak siege forward here? Part of me thought he would drop a TC in this area, because this is actually a really important area. But he's Celts. And there he is with the siege workshop. This would be crazy clutch from MbL to scout this. Is MbL thinking about this possibility right now? He didn't see a siege workshop here. He's looking. Dude, this is amazing game sense from MbL. That's so good. I understand it's Celts. So, on some level, you should expect this. But it's not like it's Huang, right? With Yo could always boom. If it's Huang, you know he's going to go forward because that's the only thing he does with Celts. But nice find there from MbL. That's huge. Because the most important part of this is you want to stop this before it gets started. And this was going to be monks in siege. Now siege on its own could even just die to scouts. MbL will gladly mix in some knights or whatever he needs. He just wants to buy a little bit of time till he can get the castle. More stone income here. More stone income here. More galleys behind this from Yo, by the way. So he's still chilling behind his dock. He's determined to never let this become an issue. And the siege is out here from Yo. MbL backed away with his units here. And now the TC is starting to be pressured. I have to say, Yo's actually in a really nice spot with his resources here. He can make a lot more knights. This villager will probably die on the farm if he doesn't move her. But the second TC's on the way. I do just worry, though, how on earth is Yo supposed to keep his siege alive if he doesn't have monks? He's adding some spears now, but that feels a little too late. And MbL clears this up easily because of the find on the siege workshop. I also like the patience from MbL to save the spears and the skirms. A lot of people would panic in that situation and engage against the siege workshop early, but he just backed away. All right, chat, quickly tell me where this castle is going to go for MbL. Be quick. He's got 600 stone. He's got map control. He has towers on the front. He's not having many problems for map control. And, well... Okay, 2 people said on the map. You guys are cowards. And this is actually... I thought it was going to be either defensive or offensive. It's kind of in the middle. And this is probably a good compromise. It gives you the stone and gold. It still cuts off the middle of the map. It gives you good production. Ooh, Yo, hold on a second. Yo deleted his dock. And Yo is trying to make a move for the fish. This is panic time for MbL. You can't let this happen. Yeah, MbL is actually getting more docks up and getting war galley now. There's still 12 fishing ships back there for MbL. It's a sneaky move from Yo. I don't hate it. But I think if that's your win condition now, is winning on water against Burgundians, I think it's not necessarily a good sign. Nice demo hit there from MbL. And actually, the next demo hit's going to be so much stronger. Dude. Yo, you better be careful. You better take out this dock, man. Bro, are you kidding me? MbL just got scammed. That's so unlucky. And there's no way. Okay. Oh. No! Dude. He couldn't eject the demo because the ships were blocking all the tiles. I didn't even think about that possibility. Let's see. Maybe he misclicked it. Let's see him try it again. I gotta look elsewhere as well. There's Rams. There's a couple armies over here. But I really don't want to look away from this. Actually, I think MbL is waiting until he has 2 demos. And then he can actually delete his dock. Or just wait till his dock goes down. But I think deleting the dock is the best play. Because then the demos... Ah! No, he didn't realize. He just didn't realize what was happening there. Again, there's other things to focus on. MbL doesn't get the demos he wanted. But here we go. Finally, can he get one? He's going to lead with the fires. The demos are going to follow up here. And still monks to pay attention to. Rams to pay attention to. And MbL is going to push through the choke point. I don't know, though. Like, I'm really surprised that MbL didn't go for war galleys himself. This is in a choke. And he's going fires into war galleys. Again, other things to look at. Lots to focus on. But I actually think this gives Yo an opportunity to get a bit of a snowball going. Having said all that, like, Yo doesn't have a ton of map control through the middle here. He doesn't have any relics. MbL does. Yo expanding to his 3rd town center in the back. He also doesn't have any fish traps, which I think MbL does have. I guess it's only 5. Yeah, Yo will have to make his way through more docks. But the war galleys have definitely been a good play from him. This is such a difficult map to play. MbL, now distracted, is going to lose 2 of his monks. And Yo feels safe enough now to drop a castle. But there's siege on the field, Yo. He sees the siege workshop. Okay, he now sees the mangonel. Maybe he could snipe that. But that's kind of a risky castle. And MbL will see that castle, too. But he's going to try the demos again. Will it work this time? It doesn't look like it's all blocked off this time. Oh, there we go. Finally, MbL gets the demos. And, yeah, one more demo like that. And he's able to add fires again. Yo had wood. Now spent the wood on the farms. Auto farm spam clicked around those town centers. And his castle will go up, which is important because he's just running low on some stone and gold. Look at MbL again. Just losing track. And he has to delete what's left of the knights there. Now, this is very different. This is very different than the first game. This map is not even comparable to Land Madness. But there is still a little bit of a theme that it feels like Yo is just paying a little bit more attention to his units. MbL still doesn't have any farms added. Now he's doing that. But Yo's had those farms up for an extra minute or 2, and he also has more of them. And oh my god, dude. Salutes in chat for Yo for fish trapping like a true Arabia player here. Yo says, I've seen what the Black Forest players do, where they stack their fishing ships on top of the fish traps. I don't have time for that. This is still pretty efficient. I think a lot of people are going to be upset with this. Believe me, I've seen worse. I think the worst one I've ever seen in competitive AoE was Tim. Yeah, it was Tim versus Doubt in Hidden Cup 3 qualifiers. I was actually casting that with MbL. But anyways, it gets the job done. He needs the food right now because he needs to compete with the imp time. MbL's on the way to imp already. MbL will have 3 relics. 4 relics even, because that relic's coming in from the back. And MbL will be on Trebs pretty soon. So what's the plan here for Yo? I mean, first Yo needs to click up, and then from there, I would say he probably needs to go like Pikeman Ram. I think Halv Ram is your best play as Celts in most instances. There are some exceptions, obviously. Depends on what civ you're up against, but certainly against Burgundians, that's your best opening. And then it gets really complicated if the opponent gets to gunpowder. But I don't know. I think there's a chance that MbL doesn't go for the university. Just the way he's set up here, this doesn't feel like MbL wants to play gunpowder. If he wasn't producing the Coustilier, I would think otherwise. But a lot of players would stop at the 5 he had, not produce any more. and then go for a university. Could always do both, of course. Yo, sorry. He did click up now, so he is on the way up. And Yo's economy should be stronger here. He's got a lot more workers. I think he even has more fish traps than MbL. MbL only has 12 fish traps. Yo's got, like, 20. But Yo has military problems. Until I see 5 barracks spamming pikes, I'm not exactly certain that this is actually going to be a good situation for Yo. Especially if Trebs come out. He needs a way to engage against those Trebs. I swear I heard a villager die there. Did anyone else hear a villager die? I don't know where. Maybe it was like, it built one of these docks or something. Ranges for MbL and chemistry. Okay. Well, that was the worrisome sign for MbL. I wasn't certain he would do that. So he'll have the unique units, he could have Trebs, and he'll have hand cannons. Dude, this is so tough for Celts. Now Celts is looking like kind of an awkward pick. They're very one-sided. It's not like MbL has to sit here and say, ooh, what is he going to do with Celts? He just kind of knows. The siege threat in early Castle Age was the main thing. Maybe the overchop was another option. And then at this age, you know it's going to be infantry combined with some siege. You could sneakily try and go for Paladin, I guess. But it feels a little too late for that. Yo might need to delete here. He doesn't do so, so he loses those 2 units, and he sees what MbL has. So he sees MbL will have hand cannons. Look at Yo still adding fishing ships. That's crazy. I think if you have Siege Ram and Halb, you could actually still push all of this back and take down the buildings. There's no easy way to kill the hand cannons, but the hand cannon damage just gets soaked up by the Rams. Love this from MbL. Making sure he has control of this extra stone and gold. Navy, not really the biggest factor anymore, but it is something to keep an eye on. And Yo... like, is this it? Is this all he's got? Okay, so Woad Raiders is the play. It's kind of funny. You don't very frequently see a Celt Spearman in Imp, but that's a unit he converted. The Spearman's been thrown away to die. Makes sense. He's the weakest link. Yo doesn't have Elite Woad yet. Now it's on the way. Everything MbL has here feels like a straight up counter to... oof, nice treb shot there from Yo. To the army we're going to see from Yo. Yo's economy is way better, though. So if he clears this up once, this could be insane. Which is why I would really have liked to see some Rams here from Yo. Look at that eco count, 160. I mean, MbL's not exactly pushing this. So maybe he could be patient. He could wait. It's a shame for Yo he doesn't have, like, 4 castles to produce the Woads. Look at these upgrades flying in. Actually, you know what Yo should do? Yo should send a group of Woads to try and bust through the Palisades and get into the main eco from MbL. That way you pull MbL out of position when you inevitably take the main fight. And Woad Raiders, I mean, it's in the name. One of the best units for that. MbL was really late to Trebs. Just now adds one. Because this Treb from Yo was perfectly positioned to hit some cannons. And here we go. Woad's about to be fully upgraded. Yo's got 30 of them. But there's 25 hand cannons. And then there's also the Custilier that can get in front. Let's see Yo. Pogo! He dives. Oh, this is going to be a slaughter, man. Maybe Yo can make more army because his eco's great. But there is no world where that fight was ever going to be good. Like, that was... It's almost like Yo didn't know how bad that was going to be for him. I think that's the worst thing he could have done, is just go right into the army. He could have tried to go here. He could have tried to go here. He doesn't know about any of that, but he could have looked around maybe. I actually wouldn't... I wouldn't think that fight's too bad if he had rams, though. With some siege rams mixed in, a lot of that army focuses on the rams, and it gives Wodes opportunities. Now Yo's thinking about being creative. So he'll head towards this TC. MbL needs to push Yo. He needs to take down these castles. Like, he's hanging out like he's going to win this game regardless. It's almost like a lot of patience. But I still don't think you want to give Yo time to get to rams. And also, we have the unique tech flying in now. Oh, that's Stronghold, actually. Did Yo get the wrong one? Stronghold isn't an upgrade he's looking to get here. I think he wants to get Fury Celtica for extra HP on the rams. 200 population for both. Yo just has massive military problems right now. And he will take the engagement. It will be a slaughter. He will lose all of his infantry again. But if he could take the bombard cannons, give himself a little bit more time here, maybe it's worth it. The spam is coming from Yo. He's actually bringing Vils this way. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know exactly what Yo is planning on happening here. This is like... It's very rare I see Yo take engagements that are so questionable, honestly. But I think he's out of ideas. He doesn't know what to do. These Vils, maybe he thought he won the fight on the left, so he could go drop a castle there. That was probably his thinking. You need the Rams and the Woad Raiders together, fully popped, to have a chance. But he didn't get Fury Celtica, so he doesn't have the 400 HP Rams or whatever. He's got 270 HP. But you'll see the difference it makes because a lot of the units are attacking the Rams now. So it gives you more of an opportunity. You also could take down the buildings. But is it too late? MbL has a better economy than he did when that first attack happened. And he has the castle set up to add the units to take out the Rams. This looks like a tie series, folks. Yo, just out of ideas on what to do. He's going to go heavy Scorpion now. So that's the next thing he could try. I actually think he would have had the resources for Siege Onager. Like, if an arena player is in my chat, I don't know if we have any high-level arena players around. But they might be saying if he went Halb Siege Onager, it could have worked. But then, of course, the weakness would be against bombard cannons, but... Maybe could have been a little bit more successful than this. Still nothing happening on the water. Still MbL with the 4 relics. Plenty of eco set up behind this for MbL. A couple of blacksmith upgrades are still off for MbL. So that's maybe the one thing I could mention. He could also get elite Custilier, but even without it, he's still fine. He actually lost his castle there. So those 2 Woad Raiders took out his castle. And Yo's like, I'm not going to resign. I have, like, there's endless resources in the back. His eco's still untouched. And he's at 190 pop, so. Here he comes with some Vils. I say endless resources. He doesn't see that gold, to my knowledge. Oh, he does see that gold. Okay. He takes out MbL's TC. It's now bringing Vils down here. I mean, if he can have some type of a foothold here, who knows? Siege Engineers on the way. Ballistics could affect the Scorpions too. Sneaky TC from Yo. MbL's bringing a lot over here to put a stop to this. And now the Scorpions are here. MbL doesn't have that many bombard cannons. Woad Raiders will come in. MbL's castle could be denied. MbL will lose his trebs. He will not take out the castle from Yo. And MbL also killed the army, but didn't stop the TC. So the TC might go up. Castle will go up for MbL, though. And I think this TC will go down as quickly as it goes up. There's no army here to protect it, so. And again, MbL now has an advance warning of what's coming. And he'll see Scorpions and just think, I need a few more bomber cannons. I think MbL is going to be fine here. MbL's doing the smart content choice. He's giving time for you viewers to show up here on this Sunday. He knows that when he wins this series, if he wins this series, he wants there to be more people to witness the end of it, you know? He's taking his time. Yo doing the same thing, of course. Taking his time, but it's not really his time to work with here. I mean, he's playing on MbL's time. MbL is the relics. MbL is the better civ. Yeah, it's just, I guess, kind of disappointing as a Kelt fan that we didn't actually see Yo have his first attack be with pure Celtica Siege Rams. I mean, we just added the T90 Ram emote. And then he waited. And when he did move in with Rams, he didn't have the army support. Fusilier are going to dive. They are elite now. Still pretty costly dive for MbL. He's still running through lots of castles, which could be an issue here. And he loses his own castle. So Yo's making some progress. Even getting through with a couple units back here could be annoying enough for Yo to make that worth it for MbL. Eco count's even now, but for a while there, Yo had 30 more eco working than MbL. So it makes sense that he's collected more resources. But I think that will change. Well, I mean, MbL's not going to catch up in the res collected, but it's not like Yo is going to be banking up a lot more. Also, if you look at the value destroyed bottom left, the value destroyed is higher for MbL because he's killed so much this game. So that evens that out a little bit. Most of the Scorpions are out of the picture. Yo dives with his halbs, but the hand cannons are still the problem. And yet again, the same theme here for Yo seems to be he'll lose his army, and then the Rams appear. He does take out the castle, though. What is happening? Is Yo actually going to be able to do this? He still isn't on this gold. It looks like he's very light on gold at the moment. The only 3 he has on gold is here. Oh my god, Yo is... Yo is cramming a castle there so he can chop through to the stone and gold after MbL towered it. That's crazy. And MbL kills the Trebs that took out his castle, but still has this 4 castle stack in the middle of the map. And there's still stone and gold here for MbL to take as well. I'd like to see MbL make town center here. Or actually, you can make a couple towers. I don't know if Burgundians get guard tower, but wouldn't hate that choice. I agree with the claim that maybe this has been sloppy for both so far, but it could be nerves, right? This is a big moment. That both players don't really show nerves in their gameplay that frequently. Some other players, it becomes very clear, but game 1 wasn't perfect from either. That's sometimes the beauty of competition, though, is like neither player is going to play at their absolute peak because of the pressure. And who's able to work through those emotions. Okay, so Yo now officially 0 on gold. Just noticed that, though, and we'll head over to this gold. This is actually an issue for Yo. You got to stop chopping these trees. If you're chopping trees, you need to chop the trees in the back for now. Because these reeds are forming a natural wall for you. And you'll have to continuously re-wall if this is the case. Now, Yo is now through... 200 pop for him. MbL's only 167 pop, which is crazy. Again, like, with 8 siege rams and these halbs, the castle dies. Like, honestly. He's just on Scorpion now, but... And Yo can make halbs forever. The only gold investment he really needs is the rams. I guess the Scorpions are needed because of the hand cannons, but... Yo just deletes that town center foundation, seeing MbL has Trebs. This is where MbL's shifting his focus. Because this is where the rest of the stone and gold is. There's still quite a few resources left on the map, being an hour in. That is a lot of halbs. But I don't think they can engage where the hand cannons are. And the Scorpions are getting flattened by the bombard cannons. And this is a no good, very bad day for these halbs. There's castle fire. There's hand cannons. Again, the only positive is that it just doesn't cost Yo any gold here. The Scorpions did get some nice kills, and the Ram was tanking there. The Halbs also took out a bombard cannon, so I guess if you're going to lose 60 units like that, that's probably the best way to do it. Still no Rams on that side. Yo overchopped this again. MbL takes out the Treb, MbL's castle will stay up. His Trebs and his Ram can push forward to this castle. His units can also run through. This is MbL's game. It's felt like MbL's game for a while. And don't let how long this game has gone fool you. I think MbL just really didn't want to overextend. Celts can be dangerous. So he was as patient as possible with the castle stack towards the middle. While he could have, in theory, tried to break this, he felt like it would have been too big of an investment, too big a risk. And yeah, now MbL's even getting Burgundian Vineyards, so his farms will bring him a trickle of gold on top of the golden stone he's mining. The units are starting to get into the back. Yo's maybe got one more push in him, but it needs to be through Rams. You're not going to raid your way to victory at this point. You can kill some vills, but you need to break castles. Yo's last gold mines are right here. 2,000 gold remaining with only one relic. Lewis Nick, what's up? Says, I want to hear a funny story from Noble Apartment Cup. How did you really feel with the cams following you? I mean, it was good fun, right? Like, when I'm there, I obviously know what's expected and how it works. But also, at the same time, I would like to be able to eat in an area where a camera's not on my face. So, I mean, it became a joke. But I also would love, if it was feasible, to have an area. I guess the kitchen, I could have stood in the kitchen corner, and eaten my food so I wasn't on camera, so... It was a good time. I'll try and think of some funny stories. I don't really have a ton of funny stories to come to mind. It was a good event, though. I was also really pleased with, like, the level of production and whatnot, considering it's the first event they've done there. I think, obviously, they had the blueprint from NACs, or, well, I mean, Nearly Apartment Cups. Like, they had the blueprint that they could work from, which probably helped a lot, but... Hand cannons shredding more infantry. Scorpions only doing so much to help from behind, and MbL will just bring more units over. This is just like the same cycle, but Yo won't resign until his population is down below. Well, now Yo resigns. Okay, good timing on that one, Yo. Scores 1-1. MbL gets the job done, and again, I want to take it back to the key earlier. I think MbL recognized late game, his civilization was superior. And early Castle Age, he double-checked to see what Yo was up to. I think stopping that siege push before it became Siege Pike, before it became Siege Monk, was critical. And then from there, I know the game took a long time, but Yo is never going to be killed off easily. MbL had a lot of work to do on the water, which he was able to sort out. And I think the castle in the middle was really valuable. I also feel as though clearly this wasn't something Yo was very comfortable playing with in late game, which maybe makes it a questionable pick. I would have loved to see Yo go like 10 Fuhrer Keltska Siege Rams with solely Halb. Like just full Halb Ram, which means he saves a ton of gold because he's not going into Woad Raider. Take out the castles, and once the castles are gone, then maybe you can consider spending your gold on the Scorpions or something, but... all easier said than done. Anyone who's played Celts at a high level will tell you it's just not a super easy civ to play when they lack some options. So, especially against Gunpowder, MbL played it well, and we have a 1-1. Game 3 migration, and I should have waited to say it. I'm just going to repeat myself now. Last time, a lot of you guys might have seen Titans League, and lots of migration play. There were the Dravidians dominating the play, but there was no Armenians. I just don't remember the timeline from when the DLC was released and certain tournaments happened. I don't remember there being Armenians played on Migration before. At least, like, a ton of it. And so, whether or not I got the timeline with events right there, I don't know. But Armenians should be amazing on this map. The Mule Cart upgrades, they collect wood and gold faster. And you spend a lot of wood and gold on this map. And then usually it's all about contesting the relics in the middle. So you're able to drop a monastery, make fortified churches, And you can actually use the warrior priest to fight for map control and to get the relics, which is really important. But this generation of migration is quite narrow towards the middle. So if either player were to just blindly guess that this was the case and go for a fast feudal forward dock strategy, that could maybe be strong here. I don't think either civ's really suited for that. But I do know that Yo liked to go forward docks with Byzantines in the past. We'll see how things play out. Gold seems pretty balanced here. Stone seems semi-balanced here, but there's way less stone, so it's going to be harder to find that in the middle. But typically you see players take their stone at home so they could build a castle in the middle eventually, so. Yeah, I know migration wasn't Warlords, but I don't know when Warlords happened, and I don't know when the DLC was for Armenians, Georgians in terms of the timeline, so. Neely says the gimmick of this tournament is that players are playing in front of the live audience. Well, see, gimmick's not really the word there. Also, do you guys think the word gimmick comes with negative implications? I would say as a tournament organizer, if someone was like, called my tournament gimmicky, it would have negative implications. I don't think it was meant that way by the initial commenter, but saying like, what's the gimmick to this tournament? I feel like I guess you need a one-word way to ask what's unique about a tournament. I don't know. Like, if you were to say Dave AoE just has a gimmicky personality, see, that makes sense. Because if you ever hear the guy speak, you just know, well, he's just a walking gimmick. But anything else I feel is a little too disrespectful, so. Thank you for the resub, by the way, Dave. I'm really comfortable talking smack to Dave when he's not in voice chat with me. Oh, man. I don't second guess whatsoever. But if he's in Discord with me, I'm a little bit more hesitant, you know? So, I think this is the fast feudal forward dock strat. We were... No, this is galleys. I'm stupid. It looks like galleys from both, actually. Man, if I have way too much time on my hands, I might make a video on why a 9 villager start versus 3 villager start can change the meta on certain maps. Because in a 3 villager start, you very rarely see galley play. Typically, it's fast castle fire galleys. But I remember from Warlords meta, which is also a 9 villager tournament, we saw a lot more galleys. But I'm not going to have too much free time on my hands to focus on that. So I wouldn't expect a video on that anytime soon. But it's interesting. 5 fishing ships for Yo. He'll probably maybe even go up to a 6th here eventually, but just going to be galleys for now. 3 docks for MbL. I'd be shocked if they were to go feudal age fire galleys here. I think galleys is the only play with this type of build. Platypus says, I use gimmick from a wrestling perspective. Just wondering if it's all migration, arena, Black Force, etc. If it was something specific. Yeah. I know what you meant. I was just saying that I feel like gimmick isn't the word that, as a tournament host, I would prefer, right? I would say, like, what's the, what's unique about this tournament, or what separates this tournament from others? But again, I guess you were looking for just one word, you know? So totally get what you meant. I also think then it's like the definition of gimmick. Like, the amount of times there's been a player that says something's gimmicky just because it's not a map that they played 1,000 times has kind of bothered me. Not going to say all the maps that I've ever had in my tournaments are necessarily perfect competitive maps, but it can be a very easy knee-jerk reaction to just be like, oh, the maps are gimmicky, just because one player prepared a little bit more, you know? So Yo made 2 galleys, then made 2 fish, and now it's back to galleys. He's headed over this way. And then we've got 3 galleys from MbL, so a bit of a galley war here. And they should encounter each other and then probably back away. At least Yo will back away. Armenians have the extra galley bolts, little extra arrow. I don't know. It's like the normal captain is shooting the full-sized arrow, and then his son is in there practicing with his tiny little arrow that never gets upgraded. It's pretty comical to me that arrow is still there when you get to a Galleon War later on. Res collected is very close. But long term, this should be better for Dravidians. Should be better for Armenians. Because the mule cart upgrades are more efficient. So since we have the time, the only thing that's happening in the middle is Yo scouting with the water buffaloes. I want to talk about a slight pet peeve I have, and I'm curious if you guys have a similar feeling. So mule carts, right, only belong to 2 of our 46 civilizations, which is a very small percentage. And I find it weird to me that one of those 2 civs, so 50% of the mule cart civs, gets more efficient upgrades. It feels like more efficient upgrades from a building makes sense if you have like a lumber camp or something, or like something that belongs to a lot of other civilizations. It's weird to me that it's like, oh, but their mule carts have this. Yeah, but they're one of 2 civilizations that have mule carts. Especially when mule carts themselves are supposed to add some level of efficiency in how they operate just because they can move around. That to me is a little weird. And I feel the same with fortified churches. Like, the fact that there's 2 civs that can make fortified churches, only 2 civs can garrison, then 1 civilization gets worker efficiency radius, then 1 gets a random unit and another get out of it. It just, to me, it would make way more sense if, I'm not advocating for more mule cart civs specifically, but it's odd to me how many, like, big standout bonuses there are when you're just comparing 2 civs, essentially, with the same option. But I don't know if anyone else feels that way. I can't quite put a finger on it, but I've always felt that way about the DLC. I get they're trying to be creative and they're running out of ideas. And overall, the civs are pretty well balanced now. Nice find here from Yo. He kind of trapped MbL in there. It's a little surprising that MbL chose to go down here, because he just went into the corner. Yet again, he's microing himself into a trap here. But really good micro overall, if you look at the KD. And he did take a good engagement on this side. And he is going to be in Castle Age faster. Ooh, but Yo is going to sneak a forward dock up here. Stark says that's how we call power creep. Not only are the mule carts cheap, efficient, but yeah, like they're cheaper, they're more efficient. And then, I don't know, like, power creep is a whole separate conversation. Power creep is just general balance things, and I agree AoE2's been power crept big time. But it's not about the strength of it. It's just having unique bonuses, like it's this big standout thing, when you already have a unique bonus in the mule cart compared to other civs is weird to me. But, anyways, MbL's gone mainly for the water approach here. He does have a transport ship. And did he just... Okay, apparently he somehow dropped his villagers off there. And that's separate from the island. And he will drop a TC. He will also drop a stable. But he doesn't know... Yo already has a stable here. But Yo doesn't know MbL is there. Galley count is higher for MbL. But Yo is making a switch into fires. I think it's a bit more difficult to control the galleys long term, but the galleys should be superior if the numbers are high. So as long as MbL's TC completes, this could be really good for him here. Yo will probably try and opt to just kill fish with these fires, but maybe, who knows? Maybe he'll change his mind. Maybe he'll engage against those war galleys. Yo, Hurricut, what's up? Frank, hello. Sapient, thank you guys. Had a lot of fun yesterday, having a lot of fun today. Just a weird migration generation. I can tell you from a player perspective, this narrow little, whatever you want to call it, map generation is not ideal. MbL could have so easily had his TC denied. And he's able to get that up, and now all chaos ensues. MbL defending his fish where he can. Is doing a pretty good job at it. He hasn't been able to kill Yo's fish, but there's always that potential. What I said in game number 1, it was sloppy from MbL, but he just needed to warm up a little bit. And it's looking good now. Nice patient micro here. TC's completed in the middle. The main thing I'd say, though, is that Yo is already building his second TC in the middle, and he's producing vills. He's got a lot more to work with there. He also has the relic. Could maybe get this relic, that relic. But Yo won't have water control. So I think eventually his fishing ships will go down. This map is kind of unique in that we see the same type of units every time, but every game is still pretty massively different in terms of the timings. That's what I like about it. I think you could make arguments. Arabia players would say it's the same. I would argue these days that's really not the case with Arabia. It's more figured out than ever. It's like, oh no, he made 1 extra skirm. To hear a lot of adaptations constantly. I think Yo's fishing eco being alive for now is a positive because he just doesn't have the numbers MbL does. So he's getting value from that while also being ahead on land in this way. So this makes for a very interesting game here. A Scorpion, I'm not advocating to change Arabia. I'm just saying that since it's the most played map, that it's more figured out than ever, so. But I wouldn't advocate for any big changes. So this is classic too. So think about it in terms of investment. MbL's invested way more onto water, so then he doesn't have the TCs. Yo has invested less into water, but he has the TCs. This is why I think it's a perfectly balanced map. I think Yo... Ooh, this is really good, actually. Speaking of how little investment he has, he's harassing MbL's fish when MbL's got the stronger navy. That's a huge find for Yo. And Yo is also using this choke point, still holding on here. MbL will probably keep these fish alive. He actually built a new dock here and is making more fires. But now he needs an answer on land. And I know the score is pretty high for MbL here. It feels like he's got some nice momentum as well because of all the navy out there. But I've seen games turn around pretty quick on this map. Also, MbL lost the relic right next to the monastery. Is this mangonel on a hill here? Because even if one tiny part of that is on a hill, it won't get one-shotted. I think it could maybe be on the hill if he moved it a little bit. I think it's not. Okay, well now it actually... That took damage from the town center? I think it took damage from the town... Let's see. Nice micro from Yo. I think it took damage from the town center when the town center shot at the knights. And oh, what a good shot from MbL. Oh, and now he has a monk as well. And he gets a conversion. That's such a good swing for MbL. It's really nice from him. Gives him some time to focus on other things, obviously, but just gives him some breathing space here with this TC. Both players will want a castle right in the middle here, right on this little hill. There's not another spot for it. And MbL gets the kill, guys. The conversion and the defense there from MbL is everything. There's still the fight on water over here, but finally, even though Yo will land some demos, Yo will lose water. He did a good job delaying that. But now this will be primarily a land-focused game for Yo. I think you just hope that you can land some demos once MbL thinks he's won water. But it's going to be tough now. Oh, wow. MbL is a TC up here. What? That's interesting. It would be pretty tough to justify an additional monk siege push up here. But this is a really important area for MbL to control. Oh, man. Oh, man. Here comes Yo with Bills. We know what's coming, guys. But this is MbL we're talking about with mangonels. And he gets the kill. He'll get a conversion as well. He won't get a conversion. Painful, painful, painful. He's housed. MbL is housed. He can't make a monk. He loses his mangonel. He loses his knight. And here comes Yo. Oh, but the mangonel... Hold on. MbL says, ha ha. Ha ha from MbL. He's not going to be laughing after this. And something tells me he's not laughing now. mean, it's such a high-pressure environment to type and say, ha ha. It's a little surprising to me, but clearly MbL's thinking classic Mr. Yo conversion or something. And I get it. MbL's won water. But ever since Yo got those TCs down and got those relics, it kind of felt to me like the middle control was going to be more important. But we have a castle here from MbL. So, oh, this is something else. So this castle will take out the town center from Yo and all the farming space. But Yo will be an imp. Again, water adds a lot to your score. And MbL's Navy is not really directly affecting the game right now. It can deny some of these wood lines, so eventually these villagers will run out of tasks. But they could still take gold, they could still take stone. Yo only has 1 dock remaining. I don't even know where it is. Oh, he's got 2 docks remaining, sorry. So he'll add a few more fires here and try and reclaim water, but this feels like a really difficult situation for MbL. Just laid on the town centers. But he did finally get to a point where he could freely add fish. I think that's what's been so epic about Yo's performance here, is that he was losing water for such a long time, but MbL could never comfortably get to a position to actually fish and gain an eco advantage. And now that he is fishing, Yo is finding it. Like, it's crazy. It's such a frustrating situation if you're in MbL's shoes. I think what's likely to happen here is MbL might not even make it to imp. We'll see what Yo chooses to do. Like, if Yo thinks that MbL's on the way up at the same time, he should probably send all of his trebs to this castle. But, like, to me, this feels like that TC's not going to stay up against a couple of trebuchets. Yo will make treb number 1, treb number 2. MbL's land eco is in a horrible, horrible, horrible state. I guess it's good for him. He did end up getting this TC up, though. So we can't forget about that. Dravidians can make bombard cannons. Armenians cannot. Dravidians have faster firing skirms. Armenians do not. So there's reasons to be excited about the Dravidians still. Plus, MbL still has all the leftover navy. And he also sees the redock attempt here from Yo. So he knows about it, but Yo lands a massive demo there. I still think land has got to be the focus for now if you're Yo. Imp TC is being trebbed. What? Did he click the tower? You've got to be kidding me, man. You got to be kidding me. Obviously, there was a misclick. But that's a pretty unfortunate misclick. MbL is really lucky there. Because that would have been an additional 2 hits on his imp TC. And it doesn't seem like he was really reacting to that either. So MbL will make it to imp. The war galleys can range this trebuchet. And then over here, we have the trebs from Yo. MbL will probably lose this castle. Yeah, MbL has a space issue right now. He doesn't have a lot of room to breathe. And he's going to lose a lot of momentum here. Like, this is a panic TC to keep villagers alive. Against a couple Armenian knights with few upgrades. That is also relic number 5 for Yo. Headed towards that fortified church right there. And oh man, MbL... That was weird. He deleted the siege workshop to build another siege workshop? I don't fully understand what happened there. Ooh, when he's getting hit by demos here, Yo's still not giving up on water. But Yo still probably won't reclaim water. He's just chipping away. He's doing what he can when he can. What is MbL supposed to rely on land? It feels like bombard cannons. And it feels like trebs. But guys, Yo is going to take the hill. This is perfect from Yo. Because he can't freely move away from his castles with his trebs right now. So he just builds another castle. The skirms won't be able to deny that. Then the castle and the siege workshops could be focused down. Another castle over here from Yo as MbL builds another TC. MbL had a 2,000 score lead moments ago. Now it's only a 300 or 400 score lead, and he's still got good military population. He's still, on paper, in a good situation to fight back against the Armenians. Faster firing skirms and bombard cannons. But he has no space and time. He won't be able to produce this Treb. He has to build another panic TC, and then his bombard cannons, which he can just now start to produce, are probably not going to be produced because the siege workshops will be taken out. He's going to be a man stuck on water and nothing else. Now, it's kind of funny because Yo is at the point now with his starting island where he is starting to lose villagers to this navy. So he really needs to be back on water. And that's not an easy thing for him to do. And MbL could add cannon galleons to use the shoreline and use the shoreline to take down the castle. So, like, a cannon galleon here could take down this castle and this castle. It's a pretty crazy game. MbL just needs some type of land presence somewhere. And Yo is just going to castle the entire map. This castle, though, is an important castle for Yo because it gives him an opportunity to maybe consider some docks. Or actually, he's just going to dock over here. I think the right play for Yo is to go for galleons here. I don't think you should be going for fires anymore. Fires in low numbers are really good in these situations. But MbL is going to invest everything into water, so you probably need your own galleons. I think Chad is right, though. Like, this generation gives MbL a chance. The narrow migration. If this was the thick migration, with the thick with 2 C's migration, it'd be a bit different. Is Yo actually... I've kind of been thinking this whole time that MbL is going to eventually lose. But is Yo going to lose this game? This castle could go down. This castle could go down. I mean, he could lose his relics to cannon galleons. Docks are coming up. War galleys coming in. And MbL isn't really tracking the docks, which is a big deal. Yo is out of stone, though. So Yo's not able to mine any more stone to repair these castles, which means he could lose 2 castles. Oh, man, the composite bowmen are here. He's doing anything to keep his castles alive. MbL's mining camps and lumber camps getting trebbed. Look at MbL. The state of MbL's wood economy is hilarious. Yo converted a cannon galleon. That's one way to do it. He also could use his trebs, maybe. It's a lot of ills going down for MbL. That's a lot of navy for MbL, but he doesn't see this. He needs to stop this. Yo should have the resources to get enough galleons out. MbL will have his own issues with affording things. As it's clear he can't take resources. Archer range now gets taken out. Kind of crazy that Yo hasn't checked these idols at all. Pretty rare that a player have 30 idols and not try and send them to other trees, but I think it's just because of the situation in the game. The cannon galleons have 13 range and the trebs have 16, so the trebs can sit in positions and range those. And Yo is actually trying a similar thing over here, I think. Well, maybe he's just trebbing down the tower. Oh, man, MbL. He's not going to be happy to see his cannon galleons going down the trebs. And now Yo has galleons on the way. Maybe MbL could start to breathe a little bit over here. Maybe. But another cannon galleon goes down to the trebuchets. Yo's got 5 relics. I think there should be another one on the map. I don't know where it is, though. I guess it's over here on the left-hand side. So Yo will probably get that as well. And MbL is now getting galleon. Okay, I mean, with what he has in queue, he'll be up to 30 galleons. But Yo is going to be able to take this gold again soon. He's over on wood, so he did realize that. He will lose his trebs. But MbL has very little resources left on his starting island. This is the remainder of his economy. He's got like 80 vills on this island. And he has 12 over here. And they're all going to die as well to the composite bowmen, the skirmishers that just got converted. And here comes MbL's navy. So MbL still going to surround the starting island. Castle stays up for Yo, at least for now. And now he loses it. Okay, bad timing. I just don't see a way back for MbL. It was a good fight. He made the most of his situation, but Yo did the core things you really need on migration, which is have the middle control. It's always a fine balance of how much you actually invest into water. What's wild is Yo is still losing a lot to these cannon galleons over here. And he didn't take a very good engagement here. And MbL could probably transport now. Maybe not. There's still some things over here. But there should be some ways for him to get some things on land. On the left side, maybe. Yo's monks aiming to convert the cannon galleons again. Now we have Silesian fleet coming in for Yo. So that's a big tech he didn't have before. Still has a lot of navy over here. Waiting to see utilized. MbL 0 on gold, 0 relics. Yo with 6 relics. MbL 66 on wood, 15 on food. It's actually the exact same for Yo. I guess 65 on wood, 15 on food. Yo also deleted this TC, which is pretty smart. Yo's navy... I mean, if Yo loses his navy, who knows, man? I keep discounting MbL. How many trees does MbL have left here? He's got... Well, this isn't even accurate because I didn't select the right trees, but it looks like maybe like 2,000 wood left on this island. And then he's going to have 60 idols with 0 transport ships. Why delete the TC? Because you don't want to produce children in a world where there's very little left to live for. That was a little too deep. But yeah, I mean, there's just not... Producing more vills into a land of death is not really the most exciting thing. And MbL calls the GG. I think he knows that he is going to be dead, and he will be. He did put up a good fight. He still has this over here, but MbL is looking at his wood eco like, what am I supposed to do with these vills? He knows that he's out of wood, and that transporting 5 by 5 by 5 is just not really realistic, especially if Yo's still got some presence here. And Armenian galleons are superior. Yo's up to the same number as MbL. He's got 35 more in queue, and he has the relics. He has the gold, the wood, everything he needs. So back and forth series so far. I mean, from my perspective, really good game from Yo. I think he had the better transitions in Castle Age. I think MbL will be a little frustrated by how late he was to the town centers and allowing this castle to go up. But do you remember the ha-ha from MbL? Like, he clearly feels like he deserved the conversion against that one knight. Maybe if the conversion happened and the monk stayed alive, maybe the castle doesn't go up. But I think if you're depending on one single conversion to save the game for you, clearly things have gone a little bit wrong already. So I think regardless, Yo was probably going to get that castle down. And yeah, there's the difference in the res collected. But that was still a pretty fun game. You know what would have been pretty sick from MbL? Is a transport here. Now, transports in general could have happened earlier from him, but that's just a pain in the ass to control. But imagine if he transported over here to take wood and over here to take some gold. Dropped a tower or two earlier in the game, started to take control on this area. Maybe that could have been an area he could actually control. But I think once he lost all of his TCs, it was always going to be tough for him. So expect this game to be absolutely crazy. You know what I want to do? I want to put Mr. Yo here because my audience doesn't necessarily know what the rest of his name means. I don't know what the rest of his name means. We got Chaos Pit in a 1v1. Not a map you see in 1v1s all that frequently, and I'm actually taking a quick glance at it to see if there's any major changes. It looks like there is one change that I wasn't really expecting. So there's these two little buildings here, and next to them is an extra area of berries and deer. So on top of that being some extra food income, it also looks very nice, which I appreciate. Well, actually, it's not extra deer. Those are the only deer available in the middle of the map. Interesting. So, and then they will have an extra area of berries. TCs are pretty close to one another here. I guess there's the neutral relic between the two. But that's the only way to get gold in the middle, is getting to this relic. All the other gold is on the outside, so players will have to chop to the outside to get there. And that's where you'll find more stone, more gold, more space to work with. So both players are going to do that. But MbL is built a lumber camp here. So MbL is clearly not planning on making a move to the outside anytime soon. And what there is in the middle is stone. What Teutons are very good with is towers. So I think this is going to be a tower play. And what's even crazier is I'm pretty certain Yo wants to tower as well. Because he picks poles because you get gold income from mining stone. So it's not a lot, but it's enough to, play out very well for you if the opponent doesn't have any gold at all. So how do you approach this here if you're Mr. Yo? Teutons can fit more villagers inside their towers so they can fire more arrows. They're the better tower rush civilization. Teutons also have the cheap farms, which is very nice. But if the poles have time to cook, they should be the better civilization here as they add those farms. But yeah, really fun map. It's not really a map that you see that frequently in 1v1 tournaments. I really like the map pool so far for this tournament. It's a good mix of standard, but also some maps that have been played in the past that we haven't seen in many years. So... Someone said this map is called Big Nip, right? No. Your name is Lame Monk. Monks shouldn't be making jokes like that. Get your head out of the gutter. All right, so MbL will build another lumber camp. All right, so he goes 2 lumber camps. So this almost feels like a scout approach then. If it was a tower rush, he definitely wouldn't go for the 2 lumber camp approach. And Yo is sending more villagers back to that 1 lumber camp. He's already on stone. I feel like Yo might be happy to just adapt to everything that MbL sends his way here. First off, that's a very Yo thing to do. But also, you have no reason to try and be aggressive here if you don't have to, if you're the Poles. You are benefiting because you are getting gold income from that stone. So he'll look to see what MbL's up to, which means scouting is important, and he sees the barracks now. I have to be careful with reading some chat messages. Yesterday, someone in chat said that watching Age of Empires 2 made them horny. And I very clearly said someone in chat said this, and I read the message. And then at the end of stream, I looked at my clips, and it was called T90 horny. And they clipped it out of context, so it sounded like I was saying it. I mean, it is Age of Empires 2. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I got to be careful. Got to be very careful. Wow, so look at Yo's walls. So Yo saw the barracks. He might be expecting some scouts here, actually. He is very late with his own barracks. So again, he's looking for the passive play. And MbL looking around, doesn't see the barracks. He did see stone was being mined. There might be a small amount. Look, MbL, okay. He saw the stone being mined. He didn't see the vills. He thought he was going to be tower rushed. So he researched Town Watch to get vision. So MbL is not expecting Yo, I guess because he hasn't seen all the walls. He doesn't seem to have an idea of how Yo is playing this right now. Now, Yo doesn't know what MbL is opening with. But the fact that he's been able to get walls down is really nice. If he wasn't walled and he assumed it was a scout opening, he might just make heavy spear defense, which would die to the skirms. And now he sees this. And scout actually goes down there for Yo, so a little sloppy. And he will add a range. Now, all the farms for the poles will want to be around the fullworks. Remember that Yo built his initial lumber camp on the outside. So in theory, he should be chopping to the outside faster than MbL. It looks pretty close, actually, because Yo placed his lumber camp on a diagonal. So on the diagonal, there's more trees. At least the angles make it a bit more difficult. And MbL, he knows he can't allow Yo to sit back and place these farms around the fullworks. And Yo will place the defensive tower on the stone. But now Yo is about to be tower rushed by the Teutons on this side. Yo even went for town watch. So let's see how Yo approaches this. Because you don't want a tower war against Teutons. You will just lose the tower war. So immediately pulls 6 villagers and will drop some stone walls here. That's a really good reaction from Yo. Because this is not an area MbL will want to walk into. And the tower now doesn't really disrupt you too much. It at least forces MbL to make another tower after breaking through some walls. And now Yo can just chill out a little bit. Now, you know what would be such a Mr. Yo thing? And it might not be feasible because he doesn't have his scout. But if he chops through here, I wouldn't be surprised to see him walk around with a villager and try and wall behind this. Especially if he knows that MbL's first lumber camp was here, but he doesn't know that. So MbL feels like he hasn't made a ton of progress breaking through. His army's accomplished very little. And so he'll just place another tower here. And Yo has to expand his full work economy, and he's expanding over here. I don't love this because this is obviously very close to the front. It's not protected by your walls long term. So MbL doesn't know this, but oh god, he tower hopped. He accidentally hopped over. I thought they patched that. In the past, you could always tower hop between houses and buildings if you built the tower in a diagonal space. Obviously, MbL didn't do that on purpose there. I think if he were to run in, he would just run into his death, so. Yeah, MbL has no clue that these farms are out here right now. So he might be thinking that Mr. Yo doesn't have a lot of space to work with. What's up, Glad Recycler? Thank you. I'm also glad to be back. It was a good time off, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling much better today than I was feeling yesterday, so. Yesterday was a little rough. It's weird, like, I get used to talking all day, every day, but then when I don't do it for 3 weeks, it actually takes some time to build up the energy and stamina again for whatever reason, so. Did MbL ever see the range? Okay, he can see it from here, so he knows about the range, and it's going to be a skirmisher counterattack from Yo. Yo is such a frustrating player to play against. Right when you think you've got him, and he's playing defensive, he shows up out of nowhere with an army to disrupt you. And now MbL doesn't have any defense. MbL's still a full tree away from chopping through. And Yo, oh, this is going to be close. Yo is through. If Yo sends a Vil right now, I think he could get walls up behind. MbL actually, oh, he tower hopped through. He's doing this on purpose this time. He's tower hopped through, so he's got 5 villagers in this tower shooting this tower, and then these vills are positioned perfectly underneath to attack. Now, he might not be able to escape with these vills, because Yo could always place a house there to block it off. Another bonus I haven't mentioned yet is Polish villagers regenerate in feudal age. It's very slow, but it is still helpful in these tower scenarios. Also, Yo didn't have fletching, so I'm wondering if fletching changes the situation here. Oh, man, and can the Vils garrison overtop the wall? They can't! Wait! They can. Oh, dude, that's crazy. See, that one's annoying. It's one thing to be able to do it through through that little tile, through the barracks and the house, but that's a bug territory for me. Now, it's not a bug I haven't seen before. It's a bug that has existed before, depending on which version we're talking about. But he literally, because of the diagonal wall, was able to hop over. And the villagers are now safe. And now we got Vil fighting over here. Again, I don't think MbL was expecting Yo to have this much economy here. Yo did not send a villager to wall off MbL. So MbL will chop through. He did outpost until he found the gold. So he has the gold income from the stone. And then he also is mining the gold on the outside. MbL is all in, man. He's had so many vills running around the map. So many vills inside of towers. He's got 7 vills inside of towers here. 2 villagers walking through. These 2 vills are walking through. Again, I don't know if this is intentional from MbL or not. Now MbL's building a tower. Now MbL's making scouts. Hold on, guys, because, like, yo, his resources might look good for Castle Age, but he is 4 on food. And MbL's bringing army and towers from all directions right now. This is absolute chaos. MbL's making a tower here. He's shooting down that tower as well. So that will go down. MbL's bringing more villagers. The map is called Chaos Pit. It's not called Wall and Chill Pit. Which is what Yo's tried to do. Sorry, my second stream back in a month. I'll get better, but I think this is a big problem for Yo. He wants to go Castle Age. He won't be able to. And the Master of Chaos has got to be loving life right now. He still has a lot of his own villagers garrisoned, but he's making progress. I don't think the fact that Yo has gold on the outside is going to matter if MbL continues to move in with towers. Now, there's still plenty of stone for MbL to take. He still has some farms going up. This full workspace has been ruined for Yo. This full workspace has been ruined for Yo. And now Yo clicks up to Castle Age. Castle Age with what? What's the plan here? I think Yo is going to have to leave the pit. I think his long-term plan will actually have to be walling this and booming on the outside. And if that's the case, this might be one of the games of the qualifier already. Another tower from Yo, because he knows this army will be a problem. He needs walls, which will give him some time. He loses a villager to a boar because he's distracted. MbL is full feudal. Towers everywhere. But he won't be able to break Yo. And now Yo is going with 2 archers. He could kill all those villagers. MbL might not notice that. This is high-level AoE, but, like, look at the mini-map blink right now. There's a lot of attack notifications all the time for these 2. And MbL's been full focused on the front. He's barely looked at his own eco this whole game, so... Again, I'm impressed with MbL's push. I'm also just impressed with Yo and how he's able to figure out survival in these situations. But he can't let these scouts get through. Those scouts could be a problem. And the scouts are going to be through. Yo doesn't have any spearmen back here. There are some weak scouts. And yeah, like I said, we have the gates here. Dave, what happened in the Sorokuma Sato game? Dave said there was a douche there. I saw the result, obviously. I didn't see the games. Because there was a moment, like right when MbL was tower pushing, where I thought TC dropping Yo would actually be the play to take out the TC. Also, a TC drop with Toons is very strong. The scouts are going to get through. Scouts are going to get through. It's only 2 of them. And the archers... What happened to the archers? Wah! No! Yo patrolled them! But he didn't patrol far enough. He patrolled down here, and they're coming back now. Oh, dude, if those archers had continued on, they would have found their target and got some kills. What a game. But, like, even though that hasn't happened, look at the difference in resources collected. And Yo is making knights. Yo has only lost 3 vills. 1 was to the boar. He finds the villagers here with the knights. MbL still can't break through, and MbL is just kind of... He's just kind of stuck. Loses all of those vills. Still not up. How on earth has Yo survived this? He'll kill another vill. And maybe it was just too much chaos from MbL. He's clearly lost track. He's going to lose another vill. Did he drop? No, he didn't disconnect. I think it's the nerves. I meant no disrespect there. We just become used to players always being on top of it. When you see someone with 12 ills in queue, that is the stress of the moment getting to them. He's actually much closer to click camp to Castle Age than he thinks. If he doesn't realize he has that many vills queued, then he might be in feudal age so much longer. TC in the back for Yo. Another tower comes up for MbL, but I don't think MbL can keep these towers up for much longer. But the gate's actually a pretty epic play there. But guys, there's still villagers here. Look at MbL's idle time. 2 hours. That's just been villagers inside of towers. And there we go. MbL realizes he had a Castle Age worth of villagers in queue. Did the archers make it? Okay, the archers are there now. So the archers could hit MbL as well. MbL's going to need a lot of military in Castle Age. I don't know what he does with this economy when Yo shows up. I guess a lot of that's around the TC, but it doesn't feel like any of this is really safe. This is not safe. He does get murder holes for free when he makes it to Castle Age, but murder holes for less towers than he would want. Still a lot of towers up, but to lose the whole left-hand side is kind of painful for MbL. And MbL still has these vills. And Yo is enough stone for a castle, so decision-making time for Yo. Does he place a defensive castle to get rid of towers? Or does he place a forward castle? Oh, man, all of MbL's spears are dead. Yikes. Like, does Yo go for a forward castle on MbL's face here to try and kill him? I think either would be a good option. I think the TCs on the outside are a good option. And Mr. Yo says, there was never a question of where I was going to place this castle. I don't know. That's up against a player whose Teuton's making towers. That's not going to go up. If the knights aren't there, that's not going to go up. The knights are still going to destroy over here. And the ram is going to help out with taking out the tower. And these vills are exposed. And this is still really, really bad for MbL. Okay. But Yo's castle is not going up against the Teuton tower. The villagers don't regenerate that fast, Mr. Yo. And murder holes is now in. Scouts for MbL are harassing. The archers have found their target, but they're just attacking the mining camp. And, oh god, Yo's bringing more vills. Yo could throw the game with this, but if he gets the castle up, he probably wins it. So 75%. 80%. Regenerate! Regenerate, villagers! Faster! He has more vills to send. The castle will go up, which means the tower gets shot down. The TC gets shot down. And MbL is in a really awkward spot right now. He's got very little positives about this situation. The 2 scouts are his counterattacking army. They'll go down after a villager pick or 2, so that's something. These vills are just trapped. Everything around the TC will die. And Yo's not diving for the kill because he doesn't want to overextend, but if he were to go here right now, I think that would pretty much end it. The archers will get picked off, but still they cause some form of harassment. Yo actually snags that relic as well underneath the towers. And drops a castle here, and spoilers, GG. Great performance there from Yo. Again, it's like, you know, this game is very similar to how Yo played Land Madness, right? Because Land Madness, Yo played like somewhat offensive early, then fell into walls, and MbL was just like, okay, is he going all in? Or is he going up to Castle Age? I don't know what to do. And then MbL sent everything he could, went as crazy as possible, and then died because Yo made it to Castle Age. In this game, MbL was, I think, initially expecting a tower rush. That he didn't see the tower rush. He made spears and skirms, ran into walls, and then had to go to towers himself. And it was just adapt, 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 adapt from Yo. It was just super well played. Like, Yo just makes this look so easy. I don't even think that everything Yo does is fully optimal all the time. But he forces you to make mistakes. And if there was a mistake from MbL, maybe it was the craziness of the towers. But it felt like he needed something. It felt like he had to make some progress. Just think the theme when I watch these two play is Yo gets away with a lot with less, and MbL is always adding more. And we saw that in the migration game as well. And every time these two play, they're really entertaining games. But when we talked predictions before the series, typically, Yo is just a game or two better, a little bit more consistent than MbL. And I'm also starting to see some signs from MbL that the nerves are there, or maybe he's not able to be as hyper-focused as he needs to. The 13 villagers in queue when he could have been in Castle Age a little bit faster was an example of that. But let's face it, with the difference of Castle Age times being that, with the difference of resources collected being that, he was probably going to be dead anyways there. So one more win for Mr. Yo to make it to Hamburg, Germany, mid-March for the main event of the Garrison. MbL needs 3 straight. Little surprised to see MbL go for the Aztecs here. But maybe saving those civilizations because he needs 2 more wins. MbL in the blue. And then we've got Yo in the red. Yo 1 win away from booking his ticket to Hamburg, Germany. Guys, again, use the Garrison commands, please, if you're curious. Really cool venue. It was just built in Hamburg. It's a bigger version of Experion, if you know what that is. If you don't know what it is, it's pretty dope. Tons of gaming things everywhere. I mean, I wish we had stuff like that in the States, man. There's at least none of that near me. Crazy venue. You could buy tickets as a viewer. There's also player tournaments. So you could buy a ticket that lets you play in the tournament. You could show up. It's separate from this tournament they're qualifying for. So it's a live community tournament with a smaller prize pool, but still a prize pool. I'll be casting there mid-March. I think it's March 13th through 16th. Yeah, we have all the info on a command here. The version of Arabia is pretty open here. The gold is what MbL would want safe, and he doesn't really get that. Neither player has a very safe gold. So I think Aztecs are just really awkward to play in Feudal Age. In Castle Age, they've instantly become very dangerous, but Feudal Age is where they struggle these days. The reason I would have preferred Mayans is because in the 9 villager start, you don't have to get Loom right away because you're not pop capped. So you're permanently ahead by that 1 villager, which you're not in a standard start. So they can still compete with the fast up times, and then it just feels a bit better for me, especially against certain civilizations. Like against Vietnamese, would maybe get to El Dorado Eagles. Now you're getting into Garland War Eagles, which I'm in love with Garland Wars. It's one of my favorite techs still, just because when I was 8, I thought it was the best tech in the game, because I thought more attack was the best. I'm not sure if that extra attack will help as much as the extra HP could. Yeah, so we've got 2 more sets today, guys. As far as I know, none of the sets are going to overlap. So the next series will be Mihai versus Kingston, and then the series after that will be Hart versus Winchester. Before the qualifier started, we had Hera, Viper, Leary, and ACCM making it through. The Hera, Viper were invited. Leary and ACCM qualified based on their performances in other events. Earlier today, we had Tato qualified. Now, looks like it'll be Mr. Yo, but could still be MbL. And then either Mihai or Kingston joins. And then either Hart or Winchester joins. So. But yeah, Gideon, let me know. Gideon's in chat. If you have any questions about the event as well, you can ask him. I think he's a little busy, so don't ask him, like, really intense questions, please. Don't be like, what's the meaning of life, please? In Age of Empires terms. Don't do that. Save those questions for me. It looks like scouts here from Yo could always be Spear Skirm. I've seen it before. And MbL will just drop his barracks now. Feels like it might be a mix of something like Eagles, Skirmishers, Archers. Obviously, he can't make a stable, so. I was literally going to ask him that. I knew you were. I know you guys. Too predictable, chat. How can I... I can predict that if I say, remember that you can subscribe for free with Twitch Prime, that we will get 0 subs. Because this is an awkward moment, and you guys are like, nah, I'm not going to make it that easy. You guys will think it'll be funny to not subscribe when I remind you could, if you're enjoying the content. Now, is this reverse psychology, or is this reverse psychology? Tough one. Have I told you guys about the new Ram emote? Can we show that off, subs? Help me out here. Come on. Come on. I'm desperate. I'm desperate. I was really hoping the reverse psychology would work, but now I think I've screwed myself. So, again, as I said, I'm not really in love with the Aztecs choice unless MbL survives the early game. And seems like that's his play with mainly just defensive units so far. Damn, T90, you had me one click away from subbing again. All right, time to run 10 minutes of ads. So chat learns their lesson. No, I'm kidding. It's all good. Support's been amazing anyways. Yo, Drunken Leaf, thanks for the gifted sub. Somebody's the MVP. Los Oreos with fries, hello, thank you. Scouts from Yo are just standing there? I think he was reacting in the middle. That'll happen with Yo from time to time. He'll just kind of... He's not quite as active with his army. Something that'll happen time to time for MbL is getting housed. And that could be a bigger issue for him with Aztecs because his units produce so fast. That's what makes the Aztecs really dangerous in Castle Age, especially with the Eagles. Matt Joe, welcome back. Nice to see you. Alex Gaming. DeGross, hello. Welcome. Thank you, guys. Ah, someone from the Pickle Crew is in chat. I got a little too excited saying that, so that'll be weird out of context. But basically, at a LAN event, there was... I'd leave the castle in Heidelberg to go get lunch. And there are these 4 very, shall I say, tipsy individuals. Maybe I'm wrong, but you guys seemed like you had a couple drinks and were having a good time. And they had shirts with pickles on them. And they asked for photos. And, you know, now refer to themselves as the Pickle Crew. Nice cleanup there from Yo. That's a nice cleanup from Yo, but I can't help but feel like MbL has accomplished a little of what he wanted here. The wild thing is he hasn't walled at all. Dude, with MbL, it's like the whole map is walled by 8 minutes, or he doesn't wall at all. It's crazy. Like, I feel like here, a little bit of walling to the edge of the map. Here, a little bit of walling to the edge of the map. He's going with a lot of Eagle production here, and he did go for a... Not walling is a really economic approach, so there is some reason to it. But I think eventually those walls needs to come down so Yo can't surprise you. You're not going to surprise Yo. Yo will have the walls coming down. I think his plan will probably be Cav Archers long term. And good micro from Yo. He went into Archers a lot faster than you would typically see here. Also, Yo saving the weak scout there to scout the map, which could be especially valuable against the Aztecs later on, so the Aztecs can't get those relics. Do I like watching Twitch on a TV? Yeah, sometimes I do. I like it. I don't have any issue with it. What I tend to do is I'm watching something on TV and then I have Twitch up on my phone, though. Because I'm an addict and I always have to have Age of Empires on. But I'm not, like, fully focused on it all the time. I'm just trying to see if the game is good enough for YouTube. And if I could tell you guys about it in a random story at some point. Holy production from MbL. I think Yo will still be pretty happy with these engagements, but I don't think he's going to win the fight. And MbL's going to be on 10 Eagles at least before he makes it to Castle Age. It's crazy. Yeah, and so MbL's taken 0 economic losses. He's killing off a lot of valuable army to Yo long term. Like, the archers are looking pretty rough right now. And the scouts are always going to be valuable for reasons I mentioned before. So killing them off is really nice. And now MbL could maybe threaten Yo. Yo's not even completely walled yet. But I think he should be able to. Scarface, there might be some type of elo cap for the live player tournament, but you should really just join the Discord. I don't have all the information memorized, unfortunately. You buy your player ticket, you can show up. There's also different events. Use the Garrison command if you guys have any questions, but I mean it when I say I think it'll be the best live venue that Age of Empires 2 has seen. It would be really cool, all the things that are happening there, so If you guys have never been to a LAN event or maybe want to go to a LAN event, check out the info there. And maybe you'll see me. Crazy how open MbL is playing right now. So again, I maintain that this is a good spot for MbL to be in. His economy has benefited from the fact he hasn't had villagers investing into walls, because that's resources and also time. But a little bit of walling would be nice. Just so a random knight can't come into his eco. This is clearly all in, right? Maybe it's not. He never sold the stone or anything. Auto scouts! Yo's auto scout just went right underneath the TC. Gotta love it. It's so funny to see someone like Yo using that. But honestly, if anyone was going to use auto scout, it probably would be Yo. I think he and Viper use it more than any other high-level player. I forget. That might be old data, though, because now you can put any scout on auto scout. Triple range here from Yo. And as expected, this is going to be Cav Archers. But look at the difference in numbers here. I know MbL's not going to be in Castle Age as quickly, but MbL has 15 Eagles already. That's crazy. Soaring Ostrich says, it's going to be better than the time you guys were in an actual castle. Gideon's in chat. Actually, for whatever reason, when I was saying that, I was discounting the castle lands. Like, that's in a whole nother category. The castles, I don't think the castles can be beat. I think it's understandable. I mean, like, a normal, traditional esports LAN location. Those castles are going to be tough to beat, so. He says that is something we're not trying to compete with. Okay, all right, that's good to know. Man, how spoiled am I that was forgotten in that moment. I'm just the worst. MbL playing Aztecs as they were designed to play. The only thing we're missing is a couple monks out on the field. And it's taken Yo some time to get those Cav Archers producing because he had to get to Castle Age. MbL clearly waiting for a siege workshop, and there it is. And Yo knows what's up. Look at that scouting from Yo. That's so impressive. He should do it. It's what's expected at this level, but it's still good to see him confirm those suspicions. I've seen Yo in these instances snipe that villager before and delay the siege push. He does have a bit more mobility. And he's just opened this up for MbL. Does MbL choose to go through here? No, he can't. Nice positioning there from Yo. And MbL still needs armor, still needs the Eagle upgrade, and then still needs the siege. So long term, you don't want Cav Archers versus Eagles, but we are still very long way away from Imp. And so Eagles max pierce armor in Castle Age is 5. A Cav Archer's max attack is 8. So you're doing 3 damage a hit, plus you have the mobility to outmaneuver the Eagles. And this is bringing me back to what I was saying before. Like, it's a pretty hard base to wall, but now you're wide open to attacks, and you don't have anything buying you time. So, how MbL played in Feudal Age, didn't mind it. But now, he's got some issues, and in all honesty, walling this gold would be tough, but it still could be possible. Also, Vietnamese Cav Archers have more HP, so there's 80 HP on the Cav Archers. This is perfect play from Yo yet again. And Yo's hitting and running with his CA. Like, he's not worried about these Eagles at all. He does need to be careful, though. Also, have to remember that MbL will be on town centers. So he's 3 TCs, and it is just 1 town center right now for Mr. Yo. So Yo needs to be taking good engagements. And Yo pushed off of stone temporarily, but his Cav Archers will come home, and I think he should be able to snipe that Mangonel. In fact, that's a good attack round from MbL, but that scout is going to kill the Mangonel. MbL's Eagle mass was looking so good. He had 15 Eagles before there was a single Cav Archer on the field. But now I think trying to get his eco sorted, plus the fights haven't been good, and he's losing these Eagles left and right. On paper, this isn't what the civilization's listed as, but I think that Vietnamese are the best Cav Archer civ in the game. Straight up. I know, like, I'm obsessed with the Huns, but for Arabia, maybe not the best. But they're top 3 for me. Huns are still insane. I like the Vietnamese right after them, and then maybe Japanese, but still, it's just like the extra HP combined with their eco bonuses is so strong. The Mongols, at least in an Arabia game, it always feels a little bit more natural to play in towards some other comps. Yeah, there's Tatars as well. You're right, but this stage of the game is what I'm talking about with Vietnamese, man. It's so good. So good. I said best in the game. In my brain, I meant to say, like, top 5 or something. So my statement, classic caster, a little too extreme, you know? But it's hard to stop. Really hard to stop. And I think it's a good approach from Yo that he could have essentially done against any civilization, but I think it's stronger against Aztecs than it might be against the Mayans, potentially, who could have played in towards crossbow. But what will get interesting here is the ballistics upgrade coming in for MbL. So MbL will have 6 Scorpions with ballistics here. So usually what happens is I say a lot of good things about something, and then that something looks horrible. So let's see if I cursed it. Knight comes through. The Knight will die. The Cav Archers need to run. And that could have been so much worse for Yo. He does lose some CA, but honestly, the Knight running into those Scorpions might have saved him there. 3 TCs for MbL. He doesn't have any relics yet. It's about to be 4 TCs for Yo. But those Scorpions, man, that change. Giving Scorpions ballistics has made Scorpions a lot more capable in defense here. And maybe as this game progresses, we start to think a little bit more about what I said before. Cav Archers in Castle Age are really strong. But in Imp, I'm not so certain they are once these Eagles become elite. And MbL's got Scorpions everywhere. That's been his approach, is just production, production, production. Yo did a really nice job over here. He's got some weak ones, though. But here, Yo found no value. So what? Yo's killed 3 Vils? That's it? Yo needs a decent amount of light cav and maybe some mangonels to take care of those Scorpions. Yo also grabbing some relics now. So 4 TCs. Good TC positions for Yo as well on the right-hand side, right on those golds. In fact, if he finds this cliff, is he making a mill for deer 30 minutes into the game? Okay. Nothing goes to waste for Mr. Yo. But yeah, walling to this cliff would be good. Walling between these woodlines would be good later on. I don't know, Yo. That's a lot of Scorpions, man. That's a lot of Scorpions. MbL just said yes to Scorpions here. He's got 12 Scorpions. Do Aztecs even get heavy Scorpion? I don't think they do. I actually don't know. I cannot remember a situation where it felt natural for someone playing as the Aztecs to go Scorpions. Like, sorry, not like Scorpions and Castle Age, but heavy Scorpion. So I really don't know an answer to that question. Yo, don't go too far here. Can you imagine if Yo went through there? He would have been completely dead. Oh, man. MbL is just hoping, praying for a chance to kill these. As hell, now he drops TC number 4? No, yeah, this is number 4. This is number 5. Now Yo will drop a castle in the middle. Over here, the relic was being protected by the Eagles, but Yo should get relic number 2. MbL doesn't see this, but that should be relic number 3 for him if he notices it. Because I think he's got a second one coming in somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, actually, it's right here. So that is going to be rather tough for MbL to take. I think Yo shouldn't allow him to get that one. MbL surviving and hoping he'll make it to the Imperial Age. And he clicks up. Monk will go down, but he's clicked up. And Yo still hasn't clicked up yet. What do you make as the Vietnamese here? Can you justify more Cav Archers? when you have this much HP, you have invested into so many upgrades. I don't think you can go Ratans. Ratans makes no sense. Cav Archers do more damage. Or is it the same? Is it like 7 base attack or something? Well, if it's the same, I mean, you might as well stay on Cav Archer because of the extra HP. I think you go heavy Cav Archer, and then you mix in some light Cav and elephants, maybe. Switching right now would be tough. And if you go full elephants, your opponent has good monks. Oh, man, that's a lot of scorpions. What a game, by the way. What a game. MbL, like, on paper, didn't love the Aztecs. I clearly see his vision now. And I could see why he had faith in this. I think this is how Aztecs should be played, and they can be very dangerous in early imp here. But Yo has 3 relics, has a big army he's healing up, and he's got great castle positions. This castle denies MbL's stone. It's funny how one Mangonel changes things. Just one Mangonel, and suddenly the Scorpions can't advance. But if the Mangonel's down, if the Mangonel's out of the picture... Oh, God! The Cav Archers are trapped, I think. The Scorpions need to move forward. Hold up. Hold up. This could be good for MbL. This castle will not go up for Yo. It's denied. MbL sacrificed a lot of eagles for this. But I think that's probably worth it. Especially if he can kill the next Mangonel. He should take that. Yo, what a find! Yo was never expecting MbL to engage there. It felt like neither player was going to engage massively before imp upgrades. MbL now clicks Elite Eagle. He's still got so many Scorpions. He's got 16 Scorpions right now. MbL's about to find out that Aztecs don't get heavy Scorpion. He's got Scorpions everywhere. Eagles will start to spread out. This is where if you are not walled, you will get massacred. Or if you don't have castles. This castle was supposed to help against the Scorpions and against the Eagles. It doesn't look like Yo's going to be able to get that up anytime soon. MbL did get that second relic. Should be back to a monastery somewhere. Imp armor 60 seconds away. This is open, I think. Is that not open? Yeah, that's open. So now Yo has to chase that down. And MbL should just try and raid everywhere Yo doesn't have those Cav Archers. Make him chase you here. I think this is clearly the next spot to raid. But it's almost too good to be true. I don't think he realizes that's unprotected. Still no castle for MbL, which is pretty crazy. He's very light on stone, so he doesn't have trebs yet. So he can't force the issue at all. And this is going to give Yo some time. But Yo really needs, as I think we just missed him missing a shot there with the Mangonel. Yo really needs to get heavy CA. I know it feels bad, but you need that extra attack. You go up to 11 damage output against 8 pierce armor. And Eagles only have 60 HP. It's still feasible. But you don't want to go for anything else in front of the CA before you get heavy CA. You need to max out. Your whole game has been this unit. You cannot go for anything else just yet. MbL just casually sitting here with 8 Rams is hilarious to me. Surprise! That's so many more Rams than I was expecting. That's crazy, man. You think when he's sitting there, it'd be 1 or 2. Get the Ram emote out. MbL got the message. Dude, that's so many Eagles. 30 seconds away from heavy Cav Archer is Yo. But look at the Rams and the choo-choo. Capped Ram isn't in yet. But that's fine. The Eagles could just keep the Cav Archers there. And here go the Rams. If MbL brings everything he has to this castle right now, this castle goes down. Actually, he lost a lot of his Eagles. Shouldn't matter. Siege Ram is on the way. The ultimate choo-choo. Let's go. And you hit the castle, and then you eject with those Eagles to kill the Vills, kill the bombard cannons, and whatever else. There's no way Yo can survive this, right? He'll have 0 castles. He's being raided over here. Yo cannot defend everywhere at once. His bombard cannon's down. His castle's down. This is all before Siege Ram comes in. And this is why MbL played this way. He went full production this game. He didn't wall up, which is extremely uncommon in the Arabia meta. And Cav Archers has been the unit that's been dominating the meta recently. And at least so far, it seems like he's found an answer to it. Still, Yo doesn't realize his eco is being gutted. And by the time these Rams are killed off, Yo will have lost a lot of his buildings and given up a lot of map control for MbL. A castle on the hill now for MbL. And if he needs to consider something other than Eagles, he should have the eco for that. I think Skirms could be an option. Pikes could be an option. He still could get the Garland Wars upgrade for the +4 attack. Siege Rams are insane, man. And there it is. There's Garland Wars. Yeah, when I was a kid, this was my favorite tech. I love the Jaguar Warrior, the Teutonic Knight, and the Cataphract. But I would frequently play with Aztecs because I thought the Jags looked cool, and I thought no other Civ had +4 attack, right? I didn't really think about armor. It wasn't exciting for me to have faster production. It wasn't exciting. Well, actually, getting more gold from the relics is very exciting because that's always very satisfying at the end of a game. But, you know, like cheap farms with Teutons, for example, pfft, who cares about that when you're a kid? You care about, like, murder holes and capes. Let's see if MbL can actually finish Yo off. Yo does have a lot of Cav Archers here. But Yo wasn't up against +8 attack Eagles before. He was up against +2 attack Eagles. Now it's +6. It's about to be +8. There's no way. With no castles? There's no way. Even if MbL loses some villagers here, he'll probably return the favor soon. I don't see how Yo's able to keep his eco alive here. The relics will go to MbL. This castle's really close to this. And the Eagles can be in so many different positions. Yep, there they go. Over to the gold. MbL will be right back on that gold in no time. Yo is barely hanging on here. I think a lot of this does come down to that castle being denied. Because if Yo had that castle up, MbL could never advance through the middle like that. It would make it a lot easier for Yo to make decisions. Not to mention that Yo also lost a lot of villagers there, which hurt his economy. Again, if this was El Dorado Eagles, the game is 100% over because of the extra HP. They'd be surviving a lot longer against these CA. As long as MbL is smart and starts to get fletching and starts to think about adding skirmishers, I don't see an easy way for him to lose this. But Eagles are expensive, so there's 1,500 gold left there. He doesn't actually have a lot of gold. There's no way Yo survives this, right? Yeah, more kills happening here. Yo has lost 90 villagers. And he'll lose the relics. He'll lose access to this stone as well. MbL is going to snag the relics right away. It should be really difficult for Yo now. He's still trying, though. Look at him snipe the monk. That's sick. If Yo wins this game, I will gift... How much gold does MbL have? I'll gift 15 subs. I was gonna say a much bigger number, but I'm a coward. He only has 6 on gold. If he can't make Eagles anymore, he has no backup plan. MbL's killed 100 villagers, though. And there's so few Cav Archers for Yo. It's not like Yo's going to have long-term gold income either. Eagles are so strong. Okay, one final choo-choo. All right? All right, fine. If Yo wins the game, I'll gift 100 subs. We'll make it interesting because you guys are judging me. Look at that guy trying to run into the ram. Okay. One final choo-choo to end the game, right? Final little siege ram train here for MbL. Okay. We have a lot more Yo fans in chat. And we've got a lot more Rams in chat. New emote, guys. As embarrassing as it is, it's a pretty good emote for the situation. Here we go! You don't stop this. If you attack the Rams, you lose your army. If you attack the army, you lose your buildings. It's very satisfying to see this. And maybe MbL is showing Yo what he should have done with Celts earlier. Prioritize the siege rams immediately in early imp. Not waste so much time. Yo had just recently reclaimed the relics. Those are gone. His stables are disappearing. What MbL is able to do at the same time is think about prioritizing this gold control. He's just grinding down these buildings. Still baffling to me that MbL hasn't mixed in some skirms. But I was only ever worried about that because I bet such a large number. Well played there. MbL stays alive. He was down 3-1. He needs to win every single game. And Aztecs was one of his latest picks. Still played it perfectly here. One of the top 3 picks from Mr. Yo just went down. MbL still has a lot more work to do, but his chances of qualifying for the Garrison are still solid enough. Remember, MbL was down 2-0 against Daniel yesterday. He had to win 3 straight, and he did do that to win the second round of the qualifier before winning 3-1 against Nikov. So it's not like MbL hasn't needed to win 3 straight before. Again, it was a really unique approach. Every other player I see play Aztecs walls up. They play very defensive, and MbL was just like, nope, I'm just going to spam TCs, spam Scorpions, and spam Eagles. That was really satisfying to see. Especially because Aztecs just don't get picked anymore. They don't get played a lot, but you look at that and you're kind of like, why? 69,000 resources collected there from MbL. Very close to 69,420, actually, which is kind of funny. Yo, only 58,000 resources, and he just didn't have the kills in the end. He did have a really good start to early Castle Age. He killed off a lot of Eagles, but then he just kept running into Scorpions. And so in order to kill the Eagles, he had to go all in initially, and then he had some catching up to do economically, and it's tough to do that against the Aztecs. So we've got Regicide Fortress. Man, I love this map. Really fun map, but a must-win situation for MbL. Yo still has another home map in his back pocket. He still has his #1 civilization in the Portuguese available. I would obviously put a lot of pressure on him to lose this, but he still can't afford to lose this and still qualify. MbL played really well with the Aztecs the previous game. And now he goes for another Meso Civ in the Mayans. And I kind of thought he was going to do this because he played with... What Civ did MbL play with in game number 5? Or no, 4. He definitely had a Civ that I thought was for Fortress. And he played it somewhere else. I actually forget. Maybe I'm wrong. He played Aztecs. He played Teutons. He did have Italians on the draft, I think. So I think Italians was his backup pick for this. So, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. In terms of the tier list for this map, Bengalis are at the very top. I think a Civ like Humans could maybe be sneaky top 5. But then Bengalis, maybe Burgundians, maybe Spanish. You don't really think about Mayans these days, but they still have the extra Vil. They still have great economy. The Plumed Archer could be pretty strong, but Bengalis get the extra Vils. Yo brings in the Boars with his scout. He'll just send that scout into the castle and heal up the scout now. And MbL is going to do the exact same here. So, but historically, Mayans were the Regicide Fortress Civ. Obviously, there were far less civilizations back then. But it used to be, well, also back in the day, we didn't have Civ drafting, so it was a lot of free pick. So most of the Regicide Fortress games I can remember from old tournaments was Mayans v Mayans. And some of you will remember the game that I've talked about numerous times where one player got their king trapped. Anyone remember the players? It was a Mayans v Mayans game. It was one of my earliest casts. And it was in WSVG qualifier. I'm going to test chat here to see if they remember the names. And no, not Sully and Yo. Yo did lose his king to Sully in Regicide Rumble, but that's different. That's different. I'm talking like 11 years ago. Nobody? Come on, chat. There's not a single person. You don't remember it from 11 years ago? What are you doing with your life? Okay, it's all right. I'm just joking. I'm the only one with problems here. Okay, so it was MbL, and it was fire. And what happened was, let's see if I can create an example. Okay, so this is a perfect scenario, actually. So MbL was scouting with his king because the king is always faster than the eagle. So just like MbL is right now, he was scouting a bunch. And he wandered back here by accident, just as his opponent was house walling to the edge of the map. So the king got trapped into the corner, but the guy who walled didn't know. So Fire didn't know MbL's king was there because he didn't see it go back there. So MbL put his king in the corner. He hit it, and the whole game was playing out. Like, it was a really even game, back and forth. They make it to Imp. They're making army. They're fighting in the middle. Fire has no clue the king's in the back of his base. And then, because Fire was building houses at one point, he spotted it. And MbL, you got to be careful here, buddy. MbL. Okay. Yeah, he's walking away. But anyways, long story short, he spotted the king. He signaled it. And he didn't even kill it. And then MbL just resigned because MbL knew he was dead. I also had a game where I almost lost my king against Lix in a tournament on Regicide Fortress because I was being stupid with my king. So we've all been there. Now, MbL should be careful here because Yo has a scout, and the scout gets faster in Feudal, and Yo's already there. So the fact that MbL is still scouting the map right now is a little surprising. But the king does need to receive a lot of hits. It looks like the Mayan king is faster than the other kings because, I guess maybe because he's more fit and his legs seem to move a little bit faster. But the king is actually the exact same speed as the fat king on the other side. I guess this king isn't very fat compared to some of the European kings, but I like the cape. That's cool. Yo obviously is not really chasing down that king. He just wants to know exactly where MbL is. Both players actually have this weird history where they have lost kings in unfortunate circumstances, so I would advise they both keep their kings safe. And this will definitely be a big boom from both. You have 150 stone in the bank on Regicide resources, so to build 2 new TCs, you need the 200. So they're both walking back and forth to that stone right now, which is pretty much the norm here, so... And Bengalis receive the additional 2 vills upon making it to Feudal Age. They'll receive 2 more upon making it to Castle Age. But the Mayans had that 1 extra vill in the early game. So I think it takes a little bit of time for the Bengali villager bonus to pay off. So Mayans should be able to compete economically. But I think with military, it's tough. The Wrath is a really awkward unit to fight against. Because it can switch to melee mode, and it has the ranged. And it is, in a 1v1 battle, it is better than a plumed archer. So I really think that MbL's long-term is to go Eagles. It has to be his play. And if he does make any plumes, it might just be to help with controlling the map and getting relics. Golds are forward for both outside the walls. And I've officially run out of things to talk about. So if you have a question, feel free to ask, chat. Second stream this year. Second stream in like a month, though. So you want to say what's up? Or have a question about the event, maybe? You can read about it on the Garrison command, of course. You definitely should check out buying tickets. It should be awesome. But yeah, we've got lots of time to talk. T90, how will you stay warm in the coming polar vortex this week? Well, where I live, it is not near as cold as elsewhere, so I have no right to complain about it being cold. So where I live keeps me safe from that. There are other risks where I live, you know. You venture a little too far, you might run into gator territory, but... Or, you know, the rare Florida man. But the weather itself is not really an issue for me this time of year. Volk says, do you plan to do a meet and greet in Hamburg or something? So I'm not going to organize a meet and greet myself because the event itself is like, I'll be on site. I don't actually know the specific plans on if I will have a dedicated moment to do meet and greet with fans. The goal, obviously, with these events, that's part of it. I want to be able to meet you guys, take some photos, and sign some stuff. So, but yeah, I don't know specifically about that right now. That's still in mid-March. So, Hugs and Kisses, what's up? Says, just watched Wandering Warriors Cup on YouTube. Is ACCM going to be a part of this tourney? ACCM is already qualified for the event because he won Wandering Warriors Cup. So the best performing player in Wandering Warriors Cup qualifies for this event. So he will be there. And I expect him to play really well. He's been in great shape recently. Dude, that was so satisfying. The creativity from ACCM in that tournament was just insane. To be able to save that many strats for a final is really rare. I think the map pool played a big role in that. And clearly ACCM's work paid off. The other three players that are already in that event, in the main event for this, are Hera, Viper, and Leary. Hera, Viper were invites. Leary was the best performing player in Noble Apartment Cup. Best performing player that wasn't already there, obviously, so. We've got a bit of a boom here. Jacko, there's an indication at the bottom left that shows the relics and also shows the relic golds. To answer your question. So yes. Very easy to see who got the relics. So far, the players haven't gone for relics at all. We haven't seen a single unit out of the castle and even a monastery yet. But speak of the devil. There's the monastery. Ooh, okay, so you see this little like cart here? Oh wow, it's now. Oh, is that them lowering it? Hold on. I've never actually really paid attention to this. It went from on the cart. Oh, they're lowering it into the bottom of the monastery. They're burying it. Or burying him. Their holy man. Or I don't know. Maybe there's some things in there. So Yo has a mod. It does look like a tomb under there. But Yo has a mod where when a monk is bringing in a relic, it's like the relic is on a cart with wheels. It looks pretty wild. It kind of looked similar to that. It made me think of that. Was that the Ark of the Covenant? I could see why you would think that. Uh-oh. Nice save there for MbL. Saves his eagle inside the castle there. What is the best option for Bengalis against elite eagles? They do get champion. It doesn't show if they get supplies. I think they don't get supplies. I think Ratha... Like, Ratha champion could maybe work. Like, I don't actually know how Ratha perform against El Dorado Eagles when they're in melee mode. Not too certain on that. But, yeah, a combination of skirms and eagles could be really good. The one unit I don't actually think is going to be the best is Plumes. Plumes against Elephant Archer and Plumes against Ratha shouldn't be all that good. But MbL's making Plumes just to stop his opponent from getting the relics. And Yo thinks that MbL has nothing out here. And MbL's about to surprise him. And hello. That's a very armored monk, but that is a dead monk. Nice snipe from MbL. That's a frustrating situation for Yo to deal with. T90 learns how altars are constructed. Garori says, any plans for Hidden Cup? I really don't have any plans for Hidden Cup, no. I'm sure you've heard, but if you didn't, Titans League's returning pretty much this week. So, starting tomorrow is officially Titans League time. New season's out. We got a video hitting YouTube today where I overview all the groups in Gold and Platinum. And so that will be... all my focus will be on Titans League. And that's going to be a dead eagle there. Yo, still making enough Rathas where it could just be for map control, but it feels like a pretty natural setup for him to drop multiple castles and continue with this unit. It's a pretty solid ranged unit, but Also has the melee mode, so you don't have to worry about making this against Eagles. Is Yo going to dive into the eco there? It chooses not to. Now, the other day, in a ranked game, now granted it was against a player 500 elo below MbL, maybe even more than that, but I watched MbL go for Mayan skirms, and he was very outspoken about how he thinks the unit's really strong. It was also funny because there's this bit of a copy pasta statement that people say about, I think it's a quote from a Reddit comment where someone overreacted and said that pros, like, someone knows it in chat. Whatever that statement is that's going to come in chat, someone was like, pros, like, suck because they don't make Mayan skirms, right? MbL had no clue that that was a meme. So as he was making the Mayan skirms with the unique text, someone said that to him and he kind of got annoyed. He's like, no, I don't. Yeah, the statement is pros consistently throw games due to an unnecessary avoidance of Mayan skirms. Yeah. No, it's single-minded avoidance of Mayan skirms, yeah. But knowing the meme, I thought it was really funny how MbL thought that was just a unique idea. It was some guy who really thought that. But it's really strong. Because the Holcha gives you the extra bolts from your skirms. And skirms do bonus damage against Ratha. So you need to have skirms here. These Ratha are insanely tanky against a normal archer. I like the economy for MbL, but it's a little bit tricky because he's stuck in his base right now. He doesn't have a lot of space to move around. I think that is by design, though. I think MbL's plan is to take the map in the middle and try and push. But Yo should play Ratha like Cav, in my opinion. Like, what else do you think Yo is expecting here? It's got to be Skirm. I guess it could be Eagles. But if he sees the plumes have upgrades, I think he should expect that it's going to be Skirms. Both players will hit imp at pretty much the same time. Really close boom game here. And there are the skirms now. And MbL moves forward. That's a good castle if it goes up to protect that gold in the front. Yo's king is in a tower on the front of his base. It's not in the back, which is slightly worrying. MbL's castle should complete. But yeah, like Cav, Ratha seems pretty cost effective and pretty solid overall, especially if you have 3 relics. Yo also has vision on this other one in the south, so he could potentially get 4. Plus there's the neutral gold, which he could castle close by. He doesn't actually see this other neutral gold, but he should know that there could be something there because he scouted most of the map. I think MbL wants to end this game fast, and this will be skirm treb push. Like, just so many skirms that his opponent, even like Cav, won't be able to deal with it. Look at the upgrades flying in for Yo. These are good, but he doesn't have final armor yet, he doesn't have attack yet, and he doesn't have the stables up yet. So if MbL has 50 skirms, 6 trebs, MbL could kill off Yo before Yo is prepared for this. And see, I don't know if this is going to work, guys. But the approach does make a lot of sense here, in my opinion. The only thing that's awkward is he doesn't actually know that castle's there. Considering he doesn't know about that, it's still a pretty good castle of his own, but here we go. There's just so much extra flame in the air from the extra bolt, and MbL is going skirm, skirm, and more skirm. I don't think Eagles is even on the mind. What is Yo gonna do? It would be epic if Yo clicked Elite Battle Elephant right now. I don't know if Elite Ratha is necessarily the play against these skirms. But I understand why you do it if you've invested into so many castles and upgrades. Clearly, this is part of his plan. Don't know how much Elite Ratha costs. I think it costs food to get that upgrade. There is a non-zero chance that Yo forgets his king is in that tower and MbL snipes it. This is a lot of army. MbL's 200 pop already. Also, MbL combining plumes with his skirms helps a lot against the light cav. Yo's castle is gone. Dead. This is good for MbL. It's crazy to me that MbL doesn't see this and he doesn't see this. It's not single-minded avoidance of making skirms. It's single-mindedness of scouting the castles. And here we go. Let's see how this army performs. Again, Ratha could switch to melee mode, but Ratha, they also receive bonus damage from skirms, and these are possibly the strongest skirms in the game. The Ratha are diving. The skirms are dying. This unit is just insane, dude. Maybe MbL will still be better off after this, but this unit feels a little too strong if you ask me. What in the world was that? Skirms are supposed to be a counter. These are the best skirms in the game. They're firing 2 bolts. Maybe not the best skirms in the game, but pretty damn close. The thing you have to remember, though, is the cost. And also how long it took Yo to mass that. MbL's not spending any gold on the skirms. He can always make more. Yo obviously has the relics. But that was an expensive loss of trebuchets there for MbL. Cavalry units +2 attack versus skirms. That includes Rathas in melee mode. Yeah, that's an interesting bonus. I didn't think about that, including the Rathas. The thing about the Rathas, which makes them strongest, in my opinion, is their HP. Which I guess makes sense because they don't really have a lot of attack, at least in ranged mode. But their melee mode still has 10 attack. So that's 10 plus 4 attack, with Blast Furnace being in. Yo will qualify to the main event of the Garrison with this victory, if he can win it. His king has been moved to another tower, so the king's probably safe. But MbL loses one of his castles here. Wow, this is crazy to me that MbL is able to take this gold. Yo doesn't know about that. He's about to with the outpost. But that's a pretty big deal. MbL thought that straight skirms would do it. I kind of thought the skirms would do it as well, but Yo's economy is so strong, and the Wrath and Lightcav combination, it seems impossible for MbL to deal with. Yo will dive again. He'll snipe these trebs. And I don't really know what to suggest to MbL beyond what he's tried here. Against the Bengalis, it is just so difficult. And Yo had a really patient play with his castle positions. And Halb won't work well either because the Rathas can just be on melee mode and shoot down the Halbs. So if you go Halb, then I don't know. It just becomes very tricky. You also could see Yo just drop archery ranges now and make some skirms. It's not like Bengalis don't have fully upgraded skirms. And we could also see elephant archers come into play at some point for Yo. Yo noticed this gold was there with the outpost, and now he gets that gold as well. And see what MbL can do. He's got maybe one more push in him. He'll pop back up. His castle's still up, so it gives him some time. But it's going to be really difficult here. Of course, it's easy now when Mayans aren't working to say, why didn't MbL go for Italians? I'm not convinced that the Italians are any better than the Mayans here, personally. Like, sure, like maybe Hussar Genoese, but Mayans can at least compete economically with the Bengalis early. The Italians would probably just get completely outboomed. And then you just have the same problem where even if the Ratha are slightly less effective, the opponent has more eco than you. I think it's tough either way. Bengalis are simply one of the best civs on this map. Yo is super comfortable taking that stone, taking the gold, taking this stone. Like, he's got every resource he could want. If you collect 12,000 more resources than your opponent, you're in a position to possibly make some mistakes. And Yo hasn't made many. Even getting some raids in over here. That one Lightcav is a little too excited about not being able to get in there. MbL will drop a defensive castle as the Lightcav is just spinning next to him. Alright, so here we go, guys. There's Halb in the mix, Elite Plumed Archer, and also Hulchus Skirms. Tell me Ratha aren't broken. It hasn't changed a whole lot. The Ratha are still insane. Remember, players weren't really playing with the Ratha for a while. It wasn't part of the meta at all. There were none of the like phosphorus strategies either. And so I think the devs were like, we need to give them way more armor for them to be a useful unit. And now they've got like 7 pierce, 6 melee. And it's you've got ranged and melee attack combined with the Bengali economy. I just think the unit is too tough to stop. And the Civ also has amazing monk options. It's got the elephant options. I mean, we haven't even seen the rest of the tech tree. I would love to suggest that MbL try and go for a king snipe now, but with his units on the field, it's not possible. If he had eagles, he could try. But if anything, it's more likely that he will get his king sniped. He does still have a big army, but it doesn't seem like the right type of army. I haven't seen Hocha skirms play out against Ratha. I expected it to be much stronger in the initial engagement, and I think MbL did as well. Just super strong. I think Yo should go Onager here. Like, Onager to help flatten the skirms would be really good. He's going to go for Elite Battle Elephant instead. So he clicks that upgrade and still has 5k gold in the bank. That's pretty insane. And obviously still some gold left on the map. I think Onager might have been the safer play. Because if he starts to lose his gold units now to this trash, full trash could maybe... I mean, MbL's saving his gold, right? He's not spending his gold on much. Full trash could maybe bring him back into it. So Halb's in front, full upgrade. Skirm's behind. MbL microing it to the best of his ability. And it will be the same result as before. He'll lose his Trebs. He'll lose his Skirms. He'll lose his Halbs. And MbL has tried his best to somehow beat this composition. But Yo has no care in the world. And MbL says broken 11. I don't think MbL is talking about his mentality. Even though he might be a little broken right now, having not qualified. I think he's talking about the Ratha that just killed him. And he might be right. Honestly, he might be right. Honestly, knowing Yo, after the game, Yo probably agreed. But we'll check on that in a second. Mr. Yo qualifies for the Garrison. And listen, if Bengalis are broken, you do have to take it back to the draft, right? It was very high priority for Yo in that draft. He saved it. And that's how it can go sometimes. He was more consistent. I found Yo's ability to play all the settings really solid here today. And think about what we know about MbL as a player. Really good on maps that mainly incorporate land and that are open. So he won on Arabia, for example. But Yo, just more well-rounded overall, I'd say. He won on Migration. He won on Chaos Pit, which was super unique. He won here. He can just kind of do it all, which is why Yo makes it to the Garrison. 85,000 resources collected. Super smooth control the whole way through. And congratulations to Mr. Yo. I felt it was expected, even though I'm a big MbL fan. Yo is just too good. Let's see, did Yo say something? Did Yo respond? No. Yo just said GG, thank you. So, sometimes players have a little bit more of a back and forth, so. Great first series of the day. Those games were awesome. Congratulations to Yo. Pumped to see him at the main event of the Garrison. Again, guys, if you're interested in checking out more info on the event, learning about the hosts, seeing what the venue looks like, looking into tickets for the live event, which is in mid-March, please use the Garrison command to check all that out, all right? I can answer questions here or there if you have them, but honestly, just join the Discord and ask any questions there if you have them as well. Yesterday, it was a 7-hour stream. We had no breaks because there were games overlapping. Today, we have a short break before the next series begins. The next series is Mihai against Kingston. You might be like, hold on a second. Mihai versus Kingston. Those names made it? Like, what's going on? Well, what happened yesterday was we had some upsets in the qualifier bracket. Pretty big ones as well. I would say, first off, many people wouldn't have expected that Kingston would beat Dogao. He did. He's been playing very sharp recently, so he beat him. Then he beat Sebastian 3-2. to qualify for the decider we're about to see. And then right below that, Mihai was down 2 games against Doubt, won 3 straight, and reverse swept the Lord, knocking Doubt out. So whoever wins between Kingston and Mihai could arguably be, even before they step on that flight, it could arguably be their best performance in Age of Empires 2 in their very young careers. So that's exciting. Final series then, after all that, is Hart Vinchester, where both these guys are top 10 in my opinion right now. Only one's going to be able to make it to the main event. That should be a pretty sick series. So